Hey, and welcome to another episode of Rankum. We've got a really fun topic today. Today we're talking about top 12 science fiction movies in from the 2000s. Um, and I've got a great panel here. I've got Chadwick. Chadwick, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing really well. I've done one of these before. I really enjoyed doing it. It was really fun. So I'm excited to get into these movies here.
And then next along we've got Chris Diaz. Chris, how's it going?
Going good. I excited about sci-fi movie 2000 when I looked out there a bunch and party on, dude. I think excellent to each other to everybody out there.
And we've got Stephen here. Stephen, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm doing well, and I love science fiction movies, and there's a lot of great choices. So, looking forward to this.
And saving the best till last, we've got Matt Kearns. Matt, how's it going?
I'm doing good. I haven't been on Rankum in a bit, but I'm here because it's sci-fi and it's me. If only Armageddon had gotten a theatrical re-release in the early 2000s, I'd be able to pitch it again. I can make an argument. But no, this should be a really fun topic. And like 90s sci-fi movies, there's a lot to choose from. And I think the 2000s, though, we'll see, there were a lot of like, not weird, but just like a lot of different ways they took sci-fi in the early 2000s.
Oh, definitely. But how this works is we're going to go around the panel and everyone's going to nominate a movie that they think belongs in the top 12, and then at the end we'll rank them. You'll know how this works by now. If you don't, I don't know where you've been. But Chadwick, what is the first movie you're going to throw out there?
Okay. So I imagine this counts. We talked about superhero films potentially counting, and it was on a Wikipedia list I saw for sci-fi. So I wanted to talk about Spider-Man 2. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I mean, this movie just pretty much the first two of these this franchise with Sam Raimi directing, just one of like the greatest start to like a superhero franchise before the MCU. It was just like really showed like what you could do with superheroes. And Spider-Man 2, I think this movie still holds up. Like, even though we're getting a lot of great ones in the MCU with Tom Holland, I think the Raimi films were like really emotional and like really just grand, and I just think Spider-Man 2 is just like one of the best movies I've ever seen for getting like the superhero aspect of it. So I just really love that movie all around. One of the greatest villains. Yeah.
Chris, what do you say about Spider-Man 2?
Oh, this is tough. I love Spider-Man 2. I do. Been a while since I've seen bits and pieces here and there. Can I consider sci-fi? That's the question. I would say yes early because this is an early start. But later, probably would have said no. I got one or two combo movie on my list that I see a little bit better, but I would say yes for the time being. Yeah.
Stephen, what do you say about Spider-Man 2?
I like the Spider-Man movies. I don't love them. Spider-Man's never really been my favorite superhero, and I'm not even really sure I would consider it, even though I know it's listed as science fiction. I'm not really. I think that would probably be more fantasy than sci-fi. So I'd probably say no.
Matt, what do you say about Spider-Man 2?
Well, first thing this does begin, which I think this is the same conversation we had when we did 90s, which was like comic book movies where they fall. I think it depends. I do think Spider-Man gets a little bit more of the edge of being sci-fi, considering the fact that the spider was genetically altered that bit him. Like, it was science that created the spider, so it does fall into it, I think, more than, other ones.
And Peter's a scientist.
Well, technically, he's a student. He's a student.
Well, not in Spider-Man.
He's on
Well, I
his
guess he
way.
is. Yeah, the college.
He's on it. You know,
College
he
student.
plays a scientist on TV. Personally, I'm gonna say no because I prefer the first Spider-Man. If you brought up the first Spider-Man, I'd be saying yes. I'd be saying yes. Well, also, I prefer Amazing Spider-Man over all the Raimi movies. But that's a conversation for another time.
Okay.
And don't even get me started on Tom Holland. You can watch over Rankums to hear that stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna have to say no. And also, just in case we don't get to bring up another Spider-Man movie, just let me say this: fuck Mary Jane. She's the worst.
I don't love Mary Jane that much.
But anyway,
Cheater. That's what she is.
but yeah, this is going to be a yes for me. Like I like Spider-Man out of the Raimi ones. Spider-Man 2 is my favorite.
I knew it.
And I mean,
It's a great film. I don't know.
And I mean,
Sorry.
No, it's good.
Yeah, and I mean, for those that are going to sort of come out and go, oh, it's not sci-fi. Like as I said in the chat, like with the comic book specifically, if IMDb has it in sci-fi in the top 3 genres that you see on the page, then it counts. And Spider-Man 2 is one of them that has science fiction in there. So yeah,
a movie where a guy literally creates mechanical arms, like that's science.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
God,
But Chris, what is your first one you're going to nominate?
So I did get probably my favorite out of the way. This is probably, I didn't see it until this year. This is probably one of the more incredible sci-fi movies I've seen this year. That touching, thought-provoking, had phenomenal acting for a comedian actor. Eternal Sunshine of Spotless Mind with Jim Carrey and Kate Flynn. This is probably my favorite of this decade, that decade in terms of sci-fi. Very complex, yet they give the idea of erasing memory, but the idea of looking at the past, and they're close to out that indicate it happened before. You pay attention close in the beginning. And it's beautiful. Jim Carrey did probably one of his best performers. He went out as great. Tom Wilkinson is great. Elijah Wood is such a awful douchebag in the movie that you want to punch him point, but Mark Ruffalo great. Kristen Dunst, despite I hate her in Spider-Man 2, is really good in there and have a really good twist that you don't see coming. And I really recommend you get anybody never seen Sunshine Spotlight, one of the biggest surprises I've seen this year while quarantine. I definitely love it.
Stephen, what do you say about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
Yes, it's in my top 5, and yeah, it's great, and a great concept. Does some really cool things with it. So yeah, it's definitely a yes.
Matt, what do you say about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
I hate having to be this guy this early on, especially since it's your guys' favorite, but I have not gone around to seeing Eternal Sunshine Spotless Mind yet. So it's going to have to be a no based off of that. I'm sorry. I felt fuck me. You had to nominate this in the first round. I had to be that guy.
This is one that I watched for the very first time this year. It's a great movie. I'd say yes to it. Chad, what would you have said?
Yeah, I would, if I was a tiebreaker of any sorts, I would have definitely said yes. This one is just like, yeah, the concepts, the visual work, just like everything with this movie. It's like a great like love story. Like he wants to like forget her and stuff like that. But just I don't think he could live without her. So stuff like that. So I just feel like all the acting's phenomenal. I just like Jim Carrey with his like dramatic work is just like some of the best. Like I love his comedies, but he's a really great dramatic actor too. And the filmmakers that worked, I forget his name, but the filmmaker that worked with Jim Carrey, actually they work on a show called Kidding on Showtime, I believe. That one's also really great with the visuals and stuff like that. So yeah, highly recommend both of those.
And by the way, before anybody comments, like say, "Oh, what do you mean it happened before?" Watch the introduction scene with Elijah Wood and tell me that not a little creepy that he just suddenly showed up there in the beginning of the film.
But Stephen, what is the first movie you're going to bring up?
I'm going to bring up Frequency. I went to the movie theater when this movie came out, and so every time I finished my shift, I would go in and watch whatever's left of the movie. So I must have seen like the last 20 to 30 minutes of that movie like 20 to 30 times. I love it, and the chemistry between Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel is great, and yeah, I really love this movie, so that's my first pick.
Matt, what do you say about Frequency?
You're speaking my language with Dennis Quaid there and sci-fi movies from the early 2000s, but sadly you picked the one that I did not see. I have not heard of this movie.
You haven't heard of it?
No.
No.
See, if this was released in the 80s or the 90s, I would have heard about it and seen it probably. Once you get like past like Fight Club, my understanding of film just falls completely off, except for the Rocky movies. That's it. That came out in the 2000s, but after that, there's just nothing.
I think you can. There's a way to argue Rocky is movies as big sci-fi. I don't know how yet, but
oh my god! Well, wait until next pick.
But anyway, I know that they turned this into a TV series recently. I also have not seen this movie, but Chad, what do you say about Frequency?
This came out like right in the very beginning of this decade that we're talking about, and I do actually remember seeing this with my parents when I was like 10 years old. But I honestly I kind of skipped over this one, not even really remembering it that much. I don't really remember it too much to really actually like judge it like based on its own merits. So I remember like some of the plot about like him like trying to talk to his dad through radio frequencies and stuff. And I feel like it's a very like heartfelt, interesting concept for a movie. But I don't think I could say yes because I just don't remember too much about it.
Yeah, Chris. What do you say? What would you have said about Frequency?
I had not even seen it. I heard a TV show, but I never seen this movie.
Might be underrated, to be honest. A lot of people haven't seen it.
But anyway, Matt, we're on to you.
Okay. So, let me give you a setup here. A former heavyweight champion who's been retired for several years, whose wife has died, is now running a restaurant named after her. And when a CGI, which is science, I believe, creation between the current heavyweight champ and the former heavyweight champ in his prime happens, and it shows that he would have won, the heavyweight champ decides to challenge him to a fight. I'm, of course, talking about 2006's Rocky Balboa, which I think, because of that computer thing, it's science fiction, okay? No, I can't. I wish. Unless you guys are going to say yes, then yes. Okay, no. But my real first nomination is let's figure out a great plan that doesn't involve your sister joining the army. Robbie, I'm of course talking about 2005's Tom Cruise classic, War of the Worlds.
Oh. I was like, you went with a different one.
Yeah, the different one.
I adore this movie. I know I went with a different one, but I think this movie is incredible. I think the effects by ILM are some of the best work they've ever done. The story of Tom Cruise, who's kind of a shitty dad and sort of through all this sort of becoming closer and really having to be a protector of his kids, and just think everything, like all the stuff with Tim Robbins when they're in the shed, like it's a movie that I think also like gets really scary, and some of the scariest moments aren't even with the aliens. It's like when they're driving through the crowd of people and they're like breaking in trying to like steal their car, and like the guy pulls the gun on Tom Cruise and he's just like, I just let me get my daughter. Like that's the scariest stuff. But then also like the aliens are also really intimidating in this movie. Like when they're on the boat and the aliens just rise out of the water. Yeah, it's incredible. I love everything. The score of this movie, I think this is one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies. So War of the Worlds is my first nomination. Also, Morgan Freeman narrates it.
Yeah, I love War of the Worlds. I think this is a great movie. This would have been my first pick had Matt not brought it up. But yeah, so it's an easy yes for me. Chad, what do you say about War of the Worlds?
Yeah, I remember seeing this, and it's because I used to work at Blockbuster. I went through like a huge Tom Cruise phase, so I was watching like all of these movies.
Yeah, that's called my life.
I really do love Tom Cruise, but I think with if there's like Tom Cruise sci-fi in the early 2000s, I would say there's actually like a better one out there.
You can never have too much TC on a list.
That's kind of true, I guess. But I don't remember like watching this one particularly and thinking it's like great.
Mm-hmm.
But I could probably rewatch it. I remember like the effects and the like the sounds specifically were really cool. But yeah, I wouldn't put it on there personally.
Chris, what do you say about War of the Worlds?
His ugh when I brought it up wasn't enough.
Everything up until after the Tim Robbins stuff is good. The ending sucks a lot of level. It just ruined the movie for me. I think it peaked with Tim Robbins when he showed up, and his stuff is the best part of the movie. Like, it not my favorite Tom Cruise sci-fi movie. I think the much better one that we had yet to bring out that is much better than this. So they had to think something else. Sorry to anybody who likes Lord of the Rings. I like the book better than the movie itself.
And Stephen, what would you have said about War of the Worlds?
The best sci-fi movie of the 2000s stars Tom Cruise and is directed by Steven Spielberg, but it's not this one.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew. You know what?
But there are great set pieces in this movie. I just think the movie as a whole is good, but not great.
Same. Wouldn't it be like 3 people said yes, then it goes on, or no?
If 3 people said yes, then it gets on.
Okay, so then he. Oh, okay, because you phrase it as what you would have said. So
basically, the majority if the majority of the people say yes, then it makes it on.
Perfect.
I mean, I figured, yeah. I kind of, it's one of those ones I kind of assumed that's probably where it was going, because I know War of the Worlds is one of those ones that's very divisive.
True.
I could say yes to it. He's just like, I kind of assumed he was going to say no to it. No, like, why do you feel so bad about you supported me. You're just like, I knew I had to just help man out there. But you say no.
Well, I mean, it's one of those, but anyway.
Uncle, just write in the list. They'll forget that they all said no, okay? Solid, because that may have been my number one, and of course it didn't get on.
No, just watch the other one come up and get denied as well.
I think now, out of spite, I'm gonna say no.
But anyway, we're on to me, and I'm bringing up a sci-fi comedy, which I think is really great. No, but it basically sums up the world we're living in right now. It is Idiocracy. This is one of those movies in which...
Not the one I thought you were going with.
In which it took me a while to actually get to appreciate this movie. But it's one of those ones that I've watched it more times now. President Mountain Dew, I know he's got multiple other names. But it's just one of those ones that I always laugh like so much, and it's like Justin Long is great in this movie, and it's one of those. It's really entertaining. Chad, what do you say about Idiocracy?
Yeah, this one's definitely on my list. I watched this not that long ago, and it's hysterical. It's just like it's like a what do you call it, where everything's like gone to shit, basically. Luke Wilson, Maya Rudolph. You know, they go to this the future. So there's your science fiction right there. But like, it's just like everything. Like Terry Crews is the president, and there's just like this one part where Maya Rudolph sees like the money, and there's like this just like, you know, rocker dude that's like on it, and she's like, damn, the future's weird. I just like that cracked me up for like 15 minutes basically. Movie's hysterical. I really enjoy that movie. I say yes for sure.
Chris, what do you say about Idiocracy?
So I don't remember ever seeing it, so I had to abstain. I've seen it, but I don't remember enough to say yes or no.
Stephen, what do you say about Idiocracy?
I actually saw this for the first time a couple weeks ago. And it's a funny movie. It definitely has laughs, but it's so stupid. I don't know if I can really say yes to a movie like this. The one thing I will
like self-aware stupid though.
The one thing I'll say too though is because of this movie, I cannot watch a Gatorade commercial without laughing.
It's what plants crave.
Just whenever they're, mention the word electrolytes, it's just, always makes me laugh. But I gotta say no. I don't think it's a great movie, even though I do think it does have lots of funny moments.
Which means it's on you, Matt. What do you say about Idiocracy?
It's on me. Yeah, this movie, I think most people would say they probably prefer this future to our current time. All bad things, Jill. This movie's great. I love the setup to this movie is they take the lazy, like, isn't he like in charge of the library or something? Like he's in charge of protecting the library and a hooker. And those are the people they choose to freeze and send to the future. And Luke Wilson, this is like when Luke Wilson was on this run, he had like Old School and this and his time on that 70s show. Like this era of Luke Wilson is probably my favorite. I adore this movie. We talked about this when we did Movie Presidents. President Camacho is amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna say yes because this movie I might not put it really high on the list, but I still think this is just one of those great movies. It's just like Dax Shepard as well. People don't talk about like when they break into his house and then he shows up as his lawyer at the trial and he forgets that he even saw him.
He got his law degree at Costco.
Well, the best joke in the movie is when Luke Wilson is being taken into prison and he just like gets in the other line and he's just like, hey, wait a second, where did you just come in? He's like, no, I was here. That guy sat on me, and they're like, okay. He just pulls him out.
But anyway,
Maya Rudolph is still searching for her pimp.
but anyway, Chad, we go back to you for your next nomination.
Yes, me. Okay. This one is like one, I don't know how many other people love this one. But this one was like particularly great for me as a kid, and I've rewatched it since, and it still holds up for me. It's a very, very good movie, and it stars one of my favorite actors of all time, Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm talking about Donnie Darko. This movie it's basically another time travel movie. Like we're just talking about that. This one is just like so like weird, but like good weird, and like the director hasn't really done anything since, so it's kind of a one-hit wonder. But it just like it talks about like mental health, time travel, saving the world type of deal, and it's just kind of like a neat little like coming of age movie too. It's just a lot of stuff. It's got Patrick Swayze in it, and his stuff is kind of funny, even though it's not like a comedy, but it kind of is sometimes a comedy. I don't know. This one is really great to me, and I love it to death.
But yeah, Chris, what do you say about Donnie Darko?
I had to abstain. I only seen the nostalgic critic review of this, so that's the only clip I've seen for the film of his review, so I had to abstain because I never see Donnie Darko.
That's a good episode, by the way, people. Just to plug that episode.
Stephen, what do you say about Donnie Darko?
This was directed by Richard Kelly, right?
Yeah.
Because a bit of a hot take. This is actually not my favorite Richard Kelly sci-fi movie of the 2000s.
Oh.
But,
so he's not a one-hit wonder.
I like the movie.
Oh.
Uh,
Yeah.
I like the movie. I just think that there are other better sci-fi movies from the decade. So I'm gonna say no, but it's a good movie.
Matt, what do you say about Donnie Darko?
This is gonna sound like a weird setup. Have you guys seen American Beauty? You know the kid who makes the film about the bag, and it's like, oh, it's so beautiful and everything. I always had a feeling that this is that kid's favorite movie, because I have to say, when I got into high school, there were like lists of movies that I had to see, like Pulp Fiction, Big Lebowski, like all these things. Donnie Darko was on there, and I watched it. Dude, what a pretentious fucking movie! Like, just I don't like Donnie, and I know you're not supposed to like Donnie, but like, fuck Jake Gyllenhaal in this movie. I like him; he's a funny guy. But just like, man, I saw this movie once, and I have revisited it. Maybe I should. I've watched the nostalgia review a couple times. Really funny. I like Patrick Swayze in the movie a lot, but also the weird teacher who's the first woman to die in Speed. She's in there too. So
Oh yeah,
watch Speed, guys. By the way,
Speed's great.
that's a great movie. It's not a sci-fi movie, but I'll try to. Depending on how long this goes, it might get back around to me, and I'll try and work it in somehow. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah,
I mean, although in saying that, Speed's a 90s movie, not 2000s.
Malcolm, I said I would find a way to work it in. Okay, did I?
But anyway,
You're welcome. I gave
Donnie
you that.
Darko's another movie that I've not seen. It's one that's been on my list. It just hasn't been available on streaming or anywhere to find.
Yeah,
So
it's not
It's a
a movie
little
that I
under the
really
radar.
ever see on streaming services. I feel like
I have it
which is
on Blu-ray.
weird.
which means we move on to Chris.
So I tell you to list because I was looking this film up to see where it stands. Because IMDb say differently, but when it Rotten Tomato and a few other things, they said it is a science fiction movie. I'm going with Stardust by Matthew Vaughn. It's been like when I watched Rotten Tomato and a few other things, say sci-fi. IMDb say differently, but I check everywhere just to make sure. It has science fiction with the stars thing. It had everything a great romantic movie. This decade, Princess Bride. It's funny, it's entertaining. Robert De Niro steals the scene, everything he in. I say this here because I wanted to double check to make sure whether it was sci-fi or not. I thought with this whole star wrestling part of Star Wars, it does delve a little bit into sci-fi territory more than just as fantasy. Right. So I know they get a no it's restricted something else, but when I went on Google, it just appeared a few times.
Yeah. With looking at it doesn't say sci-fi on IMDb. It's more fair. It's more. And I've never once considered it sci-fi. It's fantasy.
Okay, then I change it to something else.
Yeah, that's. I wasn't going to waste time going around.
Okay, so my next pick.
Good, because I
I
never
got
saw it
it.
anyway.
Good
Same.
movie. You have a really good movie. You guys should check out. But my next pick, I get this. This is probably my favorite animated in terms of sci-fi. Yes, it's sci-fi. It deals with experiment. Ohana means family. Family, nobody is left behind and forgotten. I don't really look at it. It is, and I indeed did that sci-fi movie, deal with experiment, with mad scientists, and this is an alien. It's touching and funny and have this heartwarming story. A lot of good laugh. Like politically Jumbo, Stitch, Lilo, so memorable character. I do really love Stitch. It's probably my favorite of the Disney from the decade in terms of like blowing me away with how good it was.
Stephen, what do you say about Lilo and Stitch?
I've never even. I mean, it should definitely count as sci-fi because it's about an alien. But I didn't think of this one. I do enjoy it a lot, but I think there's another Disney animated movie that I would put over it.
Ooh, interesting.
So I'm going to say no, but I do enjoy it a lot.
Matt, what do you say about Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch is great. When I was making my list, like it probably should have came out of my head, but it just didn't. I mean, it does have a great cast. I mean, Ving Rhames is in it, guys, who we also know is in Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise, who was in War of the Worlds, which you all said no to. But then you're not there. I just thought I was like, oh, Ving Rhames.
over it, dude.
I'm gonna say no, just because I actually have 2 other Disney animated films that I would put over Lilo and Stitch on this list. But yeah. And I'll save you all from a terrible Stitch impression that I can't do that.
Thanks.
Believe me, we might get other impressions. That's the show.
Hi.
There is an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that counts.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, I love Lilo and Stitch. I think it's great. This is one that I didn't think of as sci-fi and like at all, but on the Wikipedia page that I looked at, sort of thing that I cross-checked with IMDb just see what it says. And this was not mentioned in either way, so it kind of went past my radar. But I mean, I'm gonna say no because I've got a lot of mine that I think are much better than it. Chad, what would you have said about Lilo?
Yeah, this is crazy because this is like one of the big like black holes of Disney, or you know what, like just like holes of Disney that I just haven't seen it. And I know that's not Lilo and Stitch or that not Disney. That's me. I skipped this one for some reason when I was a kid, and I should have watched it. And it's definitely been on my. Hey,
No, it's just like, it's not Disney. Like as if Disney was like, "Hey, no one let him see the movie. Don't let him see it."
I should have checked this one out because I've heard a lot of great things, and I'm sure it's great. But I haven't checked it out. I mean, there's a lot of it, like represents like Hawaii and stuff too. There's just a lot of cool stuff in that movie that I feel like I would get a lot of enjoyment out of, but I just haven't seen it yet.
I like to think Bob Iger is sitting at his desk like, has he seen Lilo and Stitch yet?
I'm sorry, Bob.
By the way, my
No,
laugh would
he
be
hasn't. Mickey's like, oh, hey Stitch, don't watch it.
my laugh would be on 4.
They're just plotting against you. That's the key to the world. It's your
But anyway, Stephen, we go back to you for your next nomination.
Oh.
You know what? I'll bring up another Tom Cruise movie, not the Steven Spielberg one. I'll bring up instead his second pairing with Cameron Crowe, Vanilla Sky. I love this movie and all the little twists and turns it takes, and Cruise playing a character who ends up being a very tortured character, and I like Kurt Russell's small part as a psychiatrist who's questioning Cruise throughout the movie. Vanilla Sky is my next nominee.
Matt, can you say no to Kurt Russell?
I was going to say, I have to say yes to this based solely on the fact that it is both of my boys, Tom Cruise and Kurt Russell. Okay? I don't even know who the fuck else is in this movie.
He's already seen on Hinge.
Stop there. All right? Yeah. Guys, it is a hell yes. This might be our number one, just based solely on that cast. Like, I know
Donnie Darko
in this and some other randos, but nah. Vanilla Sky is a great movie. It's a really interesting plot. It's not on my list because it wasn't one of those that, like, when I think of science fiction, like, I go directly to that. But I think it's the same phase, like, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Like, what happens to Cruise, like, it is sci-fi. Like, it can only happen because of science. And it's a fake movie, so it's fiction.
But anyway, I simply haven't seen this, so Chad, what do you say about Vanilla Sky?
I feel like this one kind of relies on me a little bit. I'm not sure what Chris is going to say about it, but I remember I did watch this movie, but I think it's a little bit of like a frequency thing. I watched it when I was so young that I just didn't get a lot of the nuances of the movie. I do know that one of the big things this one is famous for is like clearing off like Times Square for Tom Cruise to just run around and stuff, but it like works. it's actually like means something. And I remember like he's in it, Penelope Cruz, Cameron Diaz. I remember like a lot of these really good actors that are in it. I just don't really remember too much about it to really sit here and just say that was a great movie. But I really feel like I need to revisit it. So I guess I'll say no on that. And I'm sorry.
Chris, it's all on you.
I fell asleep.
He's in deep thought about Kurt Russell's hair in this movie because he's got a wonderful mane.
Either really loves it or really hates it.
This is when he started growing out his hair, so he's just.
I actually think Chris is frozen.
In thought about Vanilla Sky.
I didn't even consider that. I thought this was the trick.
I hope he just goes, bah!
Yeah.
Like he's just been holding still this entire time. What a better, freezing image then.
Let me think of Tom.
Ah!
Let me think of Tom. And this. Hello.
Chris is cutting out.
Let me come up with the one.
I heard Tom Cruise. That's it. That's all I made out. It's all I tend to make out anyway.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, it randomly kicked you out.
No, I have not seen it, and the much better Tom Cruise sci-fi movie we had not brought up. Yeah.
But
that one.
But anyway, we go back to Matt.
I'm not bringing up that one. Oh, spite. I'm not doing it. Whew. Let's see. Where do I want to go with? What do I want to go with?
I love the fact I can actually rearrange people back to where
they
were.
I know. It's so weird. Is that new? I feel like
It is
I could do that before. Oh, okay.
It came out this week.
Oh.
Nice. Okay. I have no funny lead-in to this one, so I'm just gonna say Star Trek 2009. Just a great. I am an old school Star Trek fan. The original series is one of my favorite TV shows. I think this is just a really great movie. Chris Pine as Kirk just has a really great hero's journey through the film from just everything. I mean, that entire opening with Chris Hemsworth as George Kirk should have won a freaking Oscar for just best short, because when she has baby Kirk and they're talking over the thing about what they're going to name him, and she's like, after your day, he's like, Tiberius? No, we can't do that to him. And then it's making me cry just thinking about that scene. He's so amazing. And then of course Zachary Quinto as Spock is fantastic. And then of course bringing in Leonard Nimoy, I think, was such a brilliant stroke that doesn't feel pandering. It makes sense in the story of the film. And it's a really, really great movie. And the entire cast is great. So Star Trek.
Yeah. Knowing Matt as long as I have, I'm actually slightly surprised him bringing it up, because I know how he feels about these trilogies.
This is the one I like.
But I know, as I said, I'm still slightly, because of that, I'm still slightly. I've completely forgot you actually liked this one. But anyway,
I'm so surprised Matt liked something new.
New?
I mean, as they say on How I Met Your Mother, new is always better.
But, you get the
but anyway,
why wasn't Bob Saget in the finale, Malcolm? You tell me that. What do they say about that?
But
yeah,
I'm gonna say yes to Star Trek before we go off track here.
Before?
Because this is one of the few Star Trek movies I've actually seen. It's I've seen all of the newer ones. I haven't seen a lot of the older ones. But I mean, hey, I am working on them.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Netflix in New Zealand, right? I gotta
No.
call. Do they have a number I can call? Tell them to get the rights to these films. Them and Rocky.
But Chad, Chad, what do you say about Star Trek 09?
Yeah, so like as like a kid and stuff, I never got into the Star Trek shows or watched any of the old movies or anything like that. But having said that, I remember Star Trek 2009 coming out, and I was like, I have to see this because it's like one of these big blockbusters coming out. And I remember really liking it, and I've since seen it again, and I have it on Blu-ray, and I do really like this movie. I just remember it being great with all of its lens flares and everything. And like, you know, there's a lot of great people in this movie. The ones you've mentioned, there's also Simon Pegg is really great. I'm always down for some Simon Pegg. And then you had what's his name? The one guy who died.
Anthony Ocean.
Yeah, he's really great in it. There's a lot of really great people, and I just really think this is a great film. I've since seen Wrath of Khan too, and I think those two may be some of the best ones. So I'm excited to watch more Star Trek actually because of like, you know, these movies bringing people in, like new people into Star Trek. So I think there's a lot of merit for that.
Definitely.
So yes.
But Chris, what do you say about Star Trek 09?
This is the better sci-fi movie franchise of this decade. This is probably my favorite, third favorite Star Trek movie behind Patrick Khan and Voyage Home. I love this movie. This is great. It's great sci-fi. The villain's a little weak. I mean, Eric Bana did the best he could, but it's not a great thing. It's just a bit better than Beyond. But it's a really good movie. I love this movie. I love it in the Leroy cameo. Had the heart, it had the emotion. I did tear up a few times, especially the opening thing. And I love the music. That music, as soon as you said it, I started humming in my head.
Great score.
Stephen, what would you have said about Star Trek 09?
Well, I'm a child of the 80s and 90s, so I grew up watching Star Trek: The Next Generation, and so I love The Next Generation. I mean, I love all of the Star Trek movies. I'm going to say yes. Well, it doesn't matter what I say, but I would have said yes. I would have said yes just because there's no way the other Star Trek movie that came out in the 2000s, and people were going to say yes to.
I was thinking on the same thought line. I'm like, that I didn't even bother putting it on my list because I'm like, it's like me and like 5 other people who like that movie.
I love Star Trek Nemesis, but
I'll be honest, I like parts of it, and other parts I hate.
But anyway, based on Chris's comment for Star Trek 09, I figured I was going to say about the one I'm going to bring up. I'm bringing up the best of the prequels, Star Trek Episode 3, Revenge of the
Oh my
Sith.
god, get off of the stream right now. I'm gonna beat you, Malcolm, for what you just said.
This is a fun movie.
Did you not know what you said? Star Trek Episode 3.
Now, the question you need to ask yourself, was it intentional to get that reaction from you, Matt? Or...
No, it wasn't. It wasn't, because your face when I just pointed out to you was, oh, shit.
That's why you have that bat there?
Yeah, all the time. For several things.
But anyway, it is Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. But yeah, look, you can say what you want about the prequels. I know that people have a love-hate relationship with them, but this is the best of the 3. Like, it sort of connects to the original trilogy perfectly, and it's just one of those ones that fills in a lot of gaps and all that. I think it's still a great movie. Like, Ewan McGregor does great as Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is the best Hayden Christensen has been as Anakin. Like Natalie Portman, all that. It's just great, and even the like climactic fight scene is just perfectly done and all that. Chad, what do you say about Star Wars Episode 3?
It's the same thing kind of with Star Trek, as I got like into. I didn't actually really start to get into Star Wars until The Force Awakens and stuff like that. But I have seen these even before I saw those, and I've seen them a bunch of times since because of all the movies coming out and all the hype. This one, I would say it's definitely more underrated than a lot of people give it credit for, but because I think because it's so attached to those other two movies, and just, George Lucas kind of just like, tanking his own franchise and stuff like that a lot. I think this one is definitely underrated for sure. There's a lot of really cool parts of that movie, but I would definitely not say it's great, just because like it doesn't really stand on its own for me. And then since it's attached to the other two, it just feels like, if those other two movies had been stronger and they could have like developed the relationships better between Obi-Wan and Anakin, and then between Padme and Anakin, I think it would have been I think it could have been great, but I don't think it was. I wouldn't put it on the list myself.
Chris, the floor is yours.
Where to begin? Okay, let me get out of the way. Lightsaber fight good. That play get the vibe scene, fantastic. Like the previous fight good, but my god, the dialogue. You let me against me. Anakin, you're breaking my heart. That's not good action for Natalie Portman. That is like cringeworthy acting. The no scream, like at the moment I like the Palpatine versus Yoda fight scene better than I do the Anakin Obi-Wan, just because that was to get him going against each other. It's so good, and you're good to give a great performance, but I cannot say yes, because is it better than Attack Clone? Yes, but it still had a lot of problems, and I think it doesn't hold up well on probably watch, especially with the dialogue. Besides the Just Play It the Vibe dialogue scene, it's the best, one of the better dialogue any of the people. And the fight between Mace Windu and Palpatine and the rest is a great scene. There's just so many bad moments. He came youngly, almost ruined Darth Vader for us until Rebel and Rogue One managed to fix it many years later.
I wouldn't blame the actors. I'd blame the writing.
Yeah, but like it ruined Darth Vader for a lot of people because of like him killing youngly. Like Jesus Christ. Oh.
I mean, to be in the know is a natural reaction, then finding out that someone you loved is dead.
So bad acting for Hayden.
He's a good actor, though, if you've seen Shattered Glass. All right, that's all.
Anyway, Stephen, what do you say about Revenge of the Sith?
I mean, I like the prequels, and so I'll say yes to Revenge of the Sith. I think I thought it was great.
Matt,
which points do I go to? We got like 4 on the list, and it's almost an hour in, so I can't tackle all. So check out Second Look episode on Revenge of the Sith to hear more of my in-depth thoughts, because of course I'm giving a yes, because if you've been following Take 3 for a while, you guys know I am a huge part of the prequels. I will tackle the no. That is the last moment of Anakin Skywalker. After that, he becomes Vader, because the first question he asks is, where is Padme? And then when he finds out that she's dead, that is the last bit of any humanity he had until Luke is able to bring it out.
Okay, let me leave you with this. Because of that no, we got the stupid no in Return of the Jedi in later edition.
Oh, so well, I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing the no in Sith. I'm not arguing. Believe me, don't talk about the writing, because the writer will show up here and he'll talk about poetry and what
that led to that.
Malcolm, do we have time to have the writer come in and explain his point of view?
I'll give him 2 minutes.
Okay, give him 2 minutes. Okay, I'll bring him in. You want him to come in? All right, just give me 1 second.
Hi guys, yeah, this is George Lucas. So look, poetry, it rhymes. Every stanza just kind of rhymes with the last. So there was a no, in the third movie in Return of the Jedi. So when I was redoing the special editions, I was like, there should probably be a no in there because it's poetry. It rhymes. You know, every stanza just kind of rhymes with the last. And look, as I fan myself with millions of dollars that I've made, how's your writing going? Yeah, you guys didn't think George could get mad? I've been listening to this crap for 15 years. Oh my God, Jar Jar! I didn't give Jar Jar a line in this movie. I can't win with you people. But it's okay. You know why? Because poetry, it rhymes. Every stanza kind of rhymes with the last. And now it's Disney's problem. So, okay. Just one more thing, guys. Poetry rhymes. Every stanza just kind of rhymes with the last.
All right, thank you, George. All right, go back.
That was pretty good.
Go
I
back.
hope the other George Lucas movie does not get brought up on here.
But anyway,
Oh, I could bring up another one and I could defend the hell out of it.
Chad, what's the next movie you're going to bring up?
Oh, right. I got another one, don't I? Huh.
A lot of them.
I'm gonna say one of the best Pixar movies. You guys know what it is?
Yeah.
Sorry.
WALL-E. This movie's great.
Also,
The
not
movie's
brief.
What?
I said not brief.
It's,
They tried to put that family way into
this movie's fantastic in my opinion. It just has like a lot of like emotionality to it, you know, with Wally and Eve, and you know, just like this whole grand story of him like taking a trek, you know, to the station and trying to save the planet and everything with that. And I really adore it. I love that, you know, he's like dancing to show tunes and just, you know, just wanting like somebody, like, you know, all he has to talk to is a cricket. And yeah, I don't know. I just thought this movie was really great. Really great early Pixar edition.
Chris, what do you say about Wally?
Okay. I like Wally. I do. Movie with one phenomenal first half hour with very little dialogue. Then when the humor stuff in, it kind of dragged the movie down a lot. And I want to say that because I love Halle Berry, I love the character Wally, I love the character Eve, but I'm gonna say yes. It's just we need another good movie out here that not Star Wars Episode 3. So yes, as much as I think the second half kind of dragged the movie down. I love the first half hour with the no dialogue and the duck music and the voice of Wally and Eve.
Stephen, what do you say about Wally?
I made this joke before. I'll make it again. I can't love any movie in which a character is obsessed with one of the most insufferable musicals of all time, Hello Dolly.
Oh, it's the only movie you have access to, man. You can't blame him. It's Stockholm Syndrome.
If this was top 12 sci-fi movies that could cure insomnia, I'd say yes.
Whoa.
But I gotta take
that. Yeah,
So there was a no, Stephen. Just to be
yeah,
sure.
no.
Matt, what do you say about Wally?
Steven, I have to ask, if Wally had Stockholm Syndrome and was stuck with Top Gun, would you like the movie? Because I probably would like it more. Can you imagine that? He was watching Top Gun all the time. Oh my God, that would have been a better movie. Oh man, someone do a re-edit of the film instead of Hello Dolly. So it's just Danger Zone is playing his little cassette. Oh man, I need to do that after this. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about this one, which, speaking of which, talking about Star Wars. Ben Burt, the sound designer and editor of Revenge of the Sith, is the voice of Wally. I also think he was part of the story team for this, I want to say. I can't be sure of that. But I'm giving this a yes. I think it's a great movie. I think it was a really ballsy choice to have essentially a silent film for the first half of the movie. And I will say I agree that the first half is stronger than the second, but I still really like the second half, particularly when they start standing up literally and figuratively to the AI. I think it's a really great moment when the captain gets out of the chair, and yeah, it's a great movie. But man, my edit with Top Gun, it's gonna be better. It's gonna be way better.
But anyway, yeah, it's going to make the list regardless. I would have said no. Wally's not my favorite Pixar movie by a long shot.
Oh,
Wow.
definitely, it's not my favorite by a long shot, but Bug's Life is not a sci-fi movie. Toy Story 2 is favorite, not Bug's Life.
And for the record, I like the musical Hello Dolly more than I like Wally. So
Malcolm just wants it to be known. He's a musical theater fan. So, Steven,
I did Hello Dolly high school years. So
but anyway, Chris, we go back to you.
So I'm going to be up the film I surprised we haven't brought up yet. I think this is probably the best, besides Eternal Sunshine, the second best serious movie with sci-fi tone. I'm joining with the Clive Owen movie, Children of Men, by Alfonso Cuarón. This is like stunning movie about with no more children. One woman get pregnant and they had to protect her to deliver the baby, to give her the first life. The conscious scene alone in the words is one shot intensity moment. Clive Owen great, Murray's great, every cast member is great. This is like, and nobody has seen Children, but check it out. It's so good. This is probably my favorite Alfonso Cuarón movie. And much I love Harry Potter, I liked it much more than Harry Potter.
Wow.
So Children Men.
But Children of Men is on the table. Stephen, what do you say?
Yeah, Children of Men is on my list. It's a great movie. A lot of I remember when I first saw this movie when it came out in theaters. There was a lot of this movie has better jump scares than most horror movies because there are several scenes that actually made me jump up because of how unexpected and some of the character deaths in this movie were, and it's great cinematography obviously, and so yeah, it's definitely a yes for Children of Men.
Matt, what do you say about Children of Men?
This is a very beloved film. I sadly just haven't gone around to it, so I have to say no. Ben and Drew love this movie, so I know I need to get around to it, but I just haven't.
Yeah, this is one that I need to get around to myself. I also haven't seen Children of Men. I think the best movie that I've seen about children from men is called Junior, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. But Chad, it's all on you. What do you say about Children of Men?
Yeah, Chris is going to be very happy. I really like this movie quite a bit. I didn't see it in the theater, unfortunately, and I'm really sad about that. I watched it much later when I had heard a lot of people talking about it, and I hadn't. I saw Gravity in the theater and stuff. There's a lot of great Alfonso Cuarón. He is a really good director. I have a soft spot for a lot of those one shot sequences and stuff like that. I just love those so much when they're done well. I just think they're so great. And Clive Owen, I don't love Clive Owen that much. He was in a movie that I just really didn't like a while ago, but this one kind of just made me go, okay, now I love Clive Owen again. I've been watching a lot of Nolan films, and Michael Caine, he's in all those pretty much, and he plays just like a straight man the whole time. But in this one, he's like a stoner or whatever. I was like, there's just so many really fun parts of that movie.
Was Netflix Q.
Yeah, and then there's this one scene too, I think, in the car where it's like a full on action scene where it's spinning in the car, and I've seen that technique done after Children of Men. I just think it's I don't know if it was one of the first ones that did it, but I love a lot of the techniques that he used in that movie. I'm gonna watch it again very soon.
Yeah, let's not spoil too much. So that Malcolm and the other one Harry
Yeah,
can't
so I
just
didn't give away any like plot points, but
I mean, I generally don't care about spoilers myself. I don't know so much about Matt,
But
but
I
Yeah.
do. But if
Yeah.
you were saying spoilers, I'm not gonna lie. I stopped listening after Stone Michael King because I just started thinking about. And now I smoked a doobie the size of a tangerine. Think about stoned and made me laugh.
but anyway, with that, we go back round to Stephen.
Well, someone mentioned Speed earlier, so I'll go with the other. The other.
Oh, no.
Where are you going with this?
I can't bring up Speed because that's 90s and it's not sci-fi.
We'll
But
figure it
I
out.
think Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock did another movie together that came out in the 2000s called The Lake House.
No, sci-fi movie.
The Lake House. You know, where they're like writing letters to each other, but they're like I think like 3 years apart or something.
I guess that
Oh.
counts.
I
I guess that's technically time travel.
I mean, it's like
Mystical time travel?
it's like frequency in that it's not time travel.
It's
I mean,
Keanu and Sandy.
I mean,
so.
just like Stardust, I'm actually going to say no because according to IMDb, it's drama, fantasy,
Malcolm,
romance.
I'm sorry, I have to nix this. It won the 2006 MTV Movie Award for Best Kiss. I'm sorry, I feel like that should trump everything.
So yeah, just bring up another one, Stephen.
Okay.
Oh my god, wait, this is the movie from the
Yeah.
Family Guy joke to where Keanu Reeves sticks his thing into the Ichio. Okay. We'll get demonetized if I say the joke.
There's another one too. Between Two Ferns, when Zach Galifianakis was interviewing Keanu Reeves, he said, "Oh, I hurt my leg because I walked out of the lake house."
Wait, when was Keanu Reeves on Between Two Ferns?
On the movie.
Oh, I haven't watched I
Sorry.
only saw the movie once. Okay, I was
Go
like,
ahead,
how did I miss that episode?
Okay. Then the next one I'll go with is
Speed.
I'll go with
What?
the animated the
Oh,
Disney
okay.
animated movie that I have on the list. What? I'll go with Meet the Robinsons,
Oh,
which also involves
not the
time
one I
travel.
thought you were going
And yeah, I just love this movie. It's funny and actually gets emotional, and you know, as the saying that they keep repeating throughout the movie, "Keep moving forward." That I always that I think it is. Meet the Robinsons is my next nominee.
Matt, what do you say about Meet the Robinsons?
That was not the other Disney sci-fi film I thought you were talking about. Yeah, Meet the Robinsons. That's a pretty big movie. I remember when I was a kid when it came out. I really enjoy it. I haven't seen it in a while. But yeah, that whole I do like that notion that it gives kids of like keep moving forward, and the whole story I think is really. I don't want to spoil it. Like I know it came out in the early 2000s, but like its twist works and its story is very sweet when you get to the end. And particularly like I remember that was one of the first times that I got like really teary-eyed at the end of like a Disney movie, and then particularly when they have the quote from Walt Disney and then they take out the words and he said keep moving forward. I was like, oh. I'm gonna say no though, just because I think there are other better movies over this. So yeah, also the Jonas Brothers are on the soundtrack of this film. I remember that music video on Disney Channel all the freaking time. I was like, guys, you don't have anything else you can show? Just this? This is all right, cool, Disney. This is it. This is all you got.
Yeah, I mean, I like Meet the Robinsons. I'm actually going to say no to it as well, just because I'm not a fan of it, and I don't think it's top 12. But Chad, what do you say about Meet the Robinsons?
I've never seen this one. I just never got around to it. But I'm kind of interested. I do like movies with good messages, so maybe I'll check it out then.
Chris, where are you on Meet the Robinsons?
So sadly, we say no to. I do love the movie. I am two minds of it. I think the first half is not great in the second half. Once you get to the twist, you take a really surprising heartfelt turn, and the twist upon twist at the end it took me by surprise a lot when I watch it. And brought how Cat villain is really good villain, and the twist of who he is actually surprised me. I don't want to spoil who it is. Really nice movie. I love the message. I did this here out in the end. It's funny. Gave a T-Rex complaining about tiny little arms that actually made me laugh and really a lot. So sadly, we said no to it, so I can't say yes, but it was in my honorable mention. Like, I was trying to put it into just one different Disney movie I have on my list because I looked at that ad for Disney.
Anyway, Matt, what movie are you going to bring up now?
Crap. There's one I want to bring up, but I'm like kind of certain that it's gonna get a no. So I think I'm gonna save that until we get. Or should I just bring it? I'm between two right now. Okay, I'll bring up the one that might get on the list, and then the next round I'll bring up the other one. Do you guys know what I'm gonna miss? When people were killed by other people. Talk about 2004's Will Smith classic, I, Robot. This movie is freaking sweet. This is one of my favorite Will Smith movies. Alan Tudyk is great as Sonny. It's just a really cool movie that sort of shows this future where robots are working for us, but then also the dangers of that. And I love the fact that Will Smith is like the one cop who's like, he's trying to like stay in the past. Like he's wearing the Converse, he's driving the cars, even though they're all self-driving. He doesn't trust the robots. And his reasoning, I don't want to spoil in case people haven't seen it, but it's actually when he explains to the scientist his reasons for why he hates the robots. I think it's really strong and powerful, and you understand his feelings on it. Like you totally get, you're like, oh yeah, who wouldn't have a problem with that? It's just a really cool movie. The action's really great in it. Yeah, so I, Robot.
So iRobot is on the table. This is an easy yes for me. I love iRobot. And like Alan Tudyk, who is just great as the voice of Sonny. And but yeah, this is fun. I'm glad it was put up. Chad, what do you bring up about iRobot?
I haven't seen it. I love Alan Tudyk. I like Will Smith. Or I love old Will Smith. But I might need to check it
young
out.
Will Smith?
Sounds like a cool concept, but yeah, I haven't seen it.
I'm glad I didn't spoil it then.
Thanks.
It's come to the conclusion that Alan Tudyk appears in a lot of sci-fi movies, apparently.
Great voice actor.
But Chris, what do you say about iRobot?
Which was not the Will Smith movie and Alan Tudyk movie I was expecting here. Two different ones, but what should I say? I like iRobot. I do. Not my favorite Will Smith sci-fi movie. I like one that came out a couple years later, a little bit better. Just for the first half alone. But
Gemini?
I'm not sure you mentioned who it is, but you think if I came out a couple years later, you know what I mean. But it is a good movie. I would give it that. And Alan Tudyk really good. Not my favorite Alan Tudyk sci-fi movie for this decade. I won't give away my pick, but I don't leave it to Steven. I don't say no just because there are a few other one I think deserve a spot over it.
Steven, what do you say about iRobot?
I wish I'd seen it again because I think I might actually like it more the second time. Because I remember being kind of disappointed where the story goes in the second half of the movie. Plus, I'm also not really a big fan of some of the CGI in the movie too. So I'm gonna say no.
So
What if Will Smith had done a song on soundtrack? I was like,
Yeah, robots. Woo, yeah. What? Shia LaBeouf. What? Yeah.
would you have said yes?
maybe I just need to go back to rewatch it because it's been a long time since I've seen
Definitely go back and rewatch it. And
Um,
Chad has to watch it for the first time, and I'm gonna watch it for the 75,000th time.
But anyway, we've brought up a Dennis Quaid movie. We've brought up a Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Oh
My next movie,
yes.
my next movie I'm going to bring up has both of them in it. And I'm bringing up The Day After Tomorrow. I really enjoy this movie. Yes, it may be happening. It's another movie that may be happening right now with fires happening all over the place, pandemics, but it is one of those movies that I really enjoy. It's a disaster movie, but it's also class sci-fi. It counts. It's science and it's fiction. But
All right, steal my lines. Thanks. You're welcome.
But anyway-
It's trademarked.
but I mean, and this is one of those movies in which really sort of nails down the what's happening with climate control and all that as well. Even though some presidents, which will be named nameless, Donald Trump, might want to pretend it's not happening. It really is.
Look, if I just ignore it, it doesn't exist. That's how it works.
But anyway, Chad, what do you say about The Day After Tomorrow?
I have seen this one, and I did I mention I'm a big Jake Gyllenhaal fan. However, I love Jake Gyllenhaal a lot, and that would alone probably would make me want to watch it again. But I just don't really remember much about it at all enough to sit there and say that it's great or anything like that. So I would love to revisit it, but I wouldn't be able to put it on a list myself.
Chris, what do you say about Day After Tomorrow?
This is the better disaster movie we got from this decade. I'm not going to even bring up the other crappy remake of Poseidon Adventure that was pretty bad. But this is, just say yes to this. I like it a lot, especially effectively. I like it that Gyllenhaal story more than Dennis Quaid's side. Like, I think that it brings a lot more to it. And yeah, I gotta say yes because I remember liking it a lot, and I think bits and pieces here and there on TV I'm probably watched, and I do like everything.
Hey, the other one you're talking about is good as well. But Stephen, what do you say about The Day After Tomorrow?
This
I think it's all right. It's not great. It's not terrible. But it's definitely not one of the top, in my opinion, one of the top 12 sci-fi movies of the 2000s. So it's going to be a no.
Matt, what would you have said about Day After Tomorrow?
Look, I once presented a notion in one of my classes in college that Dennis Quaid could save us all should anything bad happen to this country, this planet, and it was based solely because of Jaws 3 and Day After Tomorrow. So, of course I said yes. Yeah, this is in no way my favorite Roland Emmerich movie. Not at all. Not at all. Is the poster cooler than the movie? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But still, it's a, as our friend Mr. Freeze would say, it's a cool movie. It's a cool party. Yeah, I would say yes. Because we need a 12. Also, it's an hour 13.
But
To answer the chat, if source code was 2000s, I definitely would nominate that.
That's a dope movie.
Yeah, 2011.
That's a dope movie. I like that a lot.
But Chad, we move on to you. What's your next nomination?
Yeah, I was actually I'm also kind of between two now. I didn't actually initially have this one on my list, but I kind of feel like I should mention this one because I think it is a really great movie, and I actually just seen it recently. I didn't remember much about it when I first watched it, but then a second time I just saw it recently for a movie club I'm in, Dan Merle. It's The Prestige. I just saw that this was in the category. I skipped over this somehow when I was going through the list, and I mean, it definitely counts as science fiction because it has a lot to do with Nikola Tesla and how they do the magic tricks, and there may be a little bit of like mystical aspects to it as well, but I feel like it's a really great movie between the two dueling magicians with Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman, and I'm trying to figure out what I did a whole review on it, and I'm trying to remember everything about it, but it like covered like the theme so well of like how they do the magic tricks, and like the entire movie unfolds with those 3 steps of the magic, and it also was like just a big thing of just about like competition and just trying to one up the other person, and there's also like a revenge story in there, and there's just a lot to it, and it's really great. And I never knew David Bowie could act until
I'm
movie.
sorry, Labyrinth.
I mean, he's great in Labyrinth, but I'm talking about like a actual like dramatic role. Yeah, he's great in Labyrinth. Don't get me wrong, I love Labyrinth.
Come on.
Yeah, Prestige is great in my opinion. Although I would say I do like Inception more, and I kind of also a little bit like Interstellar a little more too.
Ooh.
I know
All
that's a little bit of a hot take, but I just watched it before this, and I really like it.
But
now.
neither one of those films count for this list. So
But none of those count. So.
Long conversation.
What?
Uh-oh.
What was happening?
I think Chris is frozen.
Oh, I thought you were like, I just didn't hear who you were going to say yay or nay to. That's where I was confused about.
I can hear you now. But Chris, what do you say about the Prestige?
Keeps cutting out.
So I didn't realize it would consider sci-fi because when I was looking through the list, it was not on the list. When you brought it up, and you were talking about, this is probably my second favorite Nolan movie besides Dark Knight. I love this film. I've seen it a bunch of times when we watched, and I think great. Everybody give a really damn good performance. The twist is really good, and it gets emotional. By far, Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale want to give that performance to give. Like, so I have to say yes. And the twist you don't see coming. I really like about it. Right. So yes. Oh yeah.
Stephen, what do you say about the Prestige?
Well, if I were to rank Christopher Nolan's movies, each I believe would come in around number 7 for me. But that doesn't speak low of the Prestige. That just speaks of how high Christopher Nolan is. Because I do love this movie, and so it's definitely a yes.
Matt, what would you have said about the Prestige? It's making the list.
Look, I'd have to say no because, guys, magic is real. It's not fiction. It's not real. It's not real.
It's a fictional story, though, Matt.
Obviously, no. I probably would have said yes. I haven't seen this movie a bit, but Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale are fantastic in the movie. Just the whole cast is actually really good. David Bowie is really great in it. I'm so sorry to this actress from Iron Man 3. She was also really good in it. And
ScarJo?
No, not ScarJo. The other one. She's in The Town. She's Ben Affleck's girlfriend in The Town.
Oh, Bale's wife in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that Piper Perabo?
No, I'm just gonna pull up.
Are you talking about Rebecca
She is great.
Look, I would have said yes because this movie is freaking sweet. And Rebecca Hall is her name.
Yeah, Rebecca Hall.
Yeah, Rebecca Hall. Yeah. So yeah, I would have said yes, even though, guys, we all know magic's real.
And
also, like, I'm not gonna spoil the end of this movie, but let's just say when a certain character shows himself to another character, it's like one of the greatest fuck you moments I've ever seen in a movie.
Nolan
And he
does a
is-
magic trick in the movie. It's crazy.
it's great. It's great.
The movie is a trick.
That should be on the DVD box. The movie is a trick. Chad.
Sure.
Productions.
But yeah, I probably would have said no to this. I haven't seen it in a bit, but if I was to rank this on a list of Nolan movies, this would be above The Dark Knight for me. Batman
Me
Begins.
too. Shocking, Malcolm.
But anyway, Chris, we go back to you for your next nomination.
So I'm surprised it haven't been brought up yet, and I don't bring it up if they be cast by the Geek Board, a bunch of other people. It's based on a TV show, came out 2005. It's on Nathan Fillion, Alan Tudyk, Churchill Ejiofor, Simon Clow, and it's Serenity. Serenity is one of the more under-hidden gem of sci-fi movie that came out that decade. It's great. Churchill Ejiofor, hand down one of the best. Just like whole the connection, and it showed you that he could be a great villain like that. I'm looking forward to Doctor Strange to what to how he did it 20 bring that to Doctor Strange. Nathan Fillion based on gravity. Alan Tudyk is really good. It gets emotional heavily and I won't spoil what happened to a lot of crew, but really emotional person you want to see. And I have to pick Serenity. I love Firefly and I love the movie a lot.
Yeah.
Serenity.
Just to correct you, Serenity came out in 2019. It stars Matthew McConaughey.
Different movie.
Malcolm, I just gotta say that joke was all right.
But anyway, Stephen, what do you say about Serenity?
So there were two movies that I meant to see before tonight because I hadn't seen them, and that I thought would probably be brought up in this show. And Serenity is one of them. So I haven't seen it. I think the reason I haven't seen it yet is because I have to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Joss Whedon's television work.
Oh. Are you sure this isn't One Gotta Stay? Because I'm about to blow.
Oh.
I'm gonna
I
freak
have a
out.
feeling someone's a Sarah Michelle Gellar fan on here.
It's okay.
Just deep breaths.
But anyway, Matt, what do you say about Serenity?
That hack Josh Whedon? Nah, I'm kidding. I believe me, I'm a really big fan of the Snyder Cut. No, I actually like Justice League, so here I am. I have not seen Serenity because I have not seen Firefly yet. I am about to finish Scrubs, and Firefly is on Hulu, and that is the next show that I'm watching right after I finish Scrubs because somehow I'm a big Westerns fan. Like, I love, like, Bonanza and Gunsmoke. Star Wars is my favorite film series of all time. Josh Whedon literally made a show that took Gunsmoke and Star Wars and slapped them together, and I somehow have never seen it. So, obviously, I'm not going to watch the film finale of it. But yeah, so I have to say no just because I have not finished Scrubs fast enough.
Watch Firefly first.
Oh yeah, well, of course. I'm not going to watch the finale of a TV series and then watch the beginning of it.
On that note, I'm so tempted to bring up another one that's sci-fi. Matt knows what I'm talking about, but I'm pretty sure no one else has actually seen it. Let's just say that the movie is very timeless. The movie finale of Time.
Oh fuck! But that's not the early 2000s. didn't count.
It doesn't count.
Man. It was 2010 we count.
But anyway,
I NBC what you're talking about there, but don't cancel that idea.
but anyway,
Double panels, like what?
when it comes to Serenity, I think it's good. Like it's one of those ones that personally I don't think works as a standalone. You have to have seen this series to understand it. And I was a fan of the series. I think it's a good movie. But I just don't. I'm just gonna say no.
That's your
was like
right.
a Shark Tank moment. You were just like, I'm out. I'm sorry, I'm out.
I mean, it's one of those ones like I liked the series enough. The movie I thought was fine. I just didn't care for it a lot. But Chad,
Guys,
what?
you have so many great DVD box quotes. I like the series enough. The movie's fine. Malcolm.
Chad, what do you? What
Oh,
would you
yeah,
have said?
So obviously, I mean, due to my reactions, I'm a huge Joss Whedon fan. You know, I grew up with Buffy and Angel, and you know, I'm very kind of new to this whole environment. But you know, I'm slowly trying to like emerge myself as like a huge Buffy fan. I just did like a trivia match with Buffy with my wife and stuff. It's great. We're not talking about Buffy. Firefly is another really great show that Joss Whedon did. And yeah, it got unfairly canceled before it could, you know, continue. And I think Serenity is like a big love letter to the fans, and I really do think it is a great movie. I don't know myself, like you know, if you're someone coming in to Serenity without having seen Firefly, if you would be really confused. Because I had seen Firefly first. So I don't know if it does stand on its own. I do think it does because I just think it's a great movie. So I would have actually said yes, but I don't think it matters. I love that movie. It's great.
Cue all the angry comments about Serenity not being on this list. But
Okay, you must like Serenity, man.
If people don't think that two character first go watch Serenity. He's
Josh Whedon is the savior of all
Super
sci-fi.
But Stephen, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, even though it was from the 90s.
It existed in the 2000s. It's not a movie though.
No movie.
There was a movie in the 90s.
Yeah. I just said that. All right. You guys don't need to hear.
I will bring. Well, you know what? I'll bring up Minority Report finally.
Yeah,
Thank you.
time someone did it.
I mean, in my opinion, it is the best sci-fi movie of the 2000s.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know, great story, interesting mystery, and I think probably one of Tom Cruise's best performances. I mean, I think he's great also in Born on the 4th of July and Magnolia. But Tom Cruise is great. Colin Farrell, Max von Sydow. I don't remember how to pronounce his last name.
Ming the Merciless. Just say Ming the Merciless.
Lamar, where are you going, Lamar?
And Samantha Morton, of course, is fantastic. Yeah, and visually, the production design is great. So yeah, finally gonna bring up Minority Report.
But Matt, what do you say about Minority Report?
Yeah, no, it's a great move. I mean, yo, homie, that my briefcase when he's chasing Jay Pinkett Smith on the train at the end, and he throws the dude out the window onto the taxi. It's really great. I never really saw the side. Oh, crap. Side or arm.
You're thinking on the wrong one.
No, that was sci-fi, wasn't it? No. No, we're talking. What are we talking? Minority Report. Okay. Yeah. No, I just had more bad jokes. Okay. Landed flat. Yeah. No. I'm gonna have to say no because you guys said no to War of the Worlds. No, of course I'm saying yes. Of course I'm saying yes. It's Steven Spielberg and Tom freaking Cruise. For crying out loud, people. No, this movie is great. Colin Farrell, fantastic in it, and it's Tom Cruise. It's literally The Fugitive in the future, but you take Tom Cruise instead of Harrison Ford, which I mean, it's slight downgrade, but that's neither here nor there. But it's literally the same. It's the same plot. Minus, it would have been better if there was a moment where Tom Cruise was just like, "You find this man. He had one arm." Would have been better. Oh man! I mean, that there's no one-armed man in the movie, but it still would have worked. They would have been like, "What are you talking about? What is this?"
But yeah, on my note, I'm just going to put this up for a second. I don't like Minority Report.
Shocker!
It's my least. It's one of my least favorite Tom Cruise movies of all time.
Look, Malcolm, I understand that you do not like this movie, but that does not mean that you had to say. Now, look, I looked at the ball and I knew you were already going to say no before you did, but I still allowed you to do it. I gave you that free choice. So I think you should change that choice to a yes. Do you know why? Because I feel the need to report Minority.
Whoa.
And I understand after I said that joke, it probably sounded wrong. But that's the title of the movie. Don't blame me. Don't hate the player. Hate the game.
That was a terrible.
Okay, you know what? I never said I was good at doing Tom Cruise impressions. I said I could do a Tom Cruise impression. Okay, I said it was a good one.
I'm gonna show him the money.
But anyway, I just wasn't entertained from this, and you already got rid of the best Steven Spielberg sci-fi movie that stars Tom Cruise. So,
I mean, I do agree with Malcolm. I like it better.
Chad, what do you say about Minority Report?
He's got a hot take button. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know, Malcolm. When did you add that?
About the time that Stephen brought up Minority Report.
Malcolm's just like, I'm going to. Is there a way you could like store that? Because that'd just be a great thing for Rankum. Like anytime that the words remotely "The Dark Knight" are spoken on here, Matt, you just be like, go.
Well, like any band I create on here stays on StreamYard on my end.
Okay. So that's awesome. All right. I'm sorry, guys. Me and Malcolm are just getting into how this is so useful for other streams.
Minority Report. Yeah. So this is actually one I did see as a kid, and I've seen it not super recently, but every time I watch it, I super enjoy this movie. This movie is it's so fun, and just like the concepts in it are amazing. It's like a cop action drama sci-fi. Yeah, it's just like everything about this movie. I'm with Matt there. I love Tom Cruise and pretty much everything. So yeah, I'm down. I mean, I think because like War of the Worlds is more like a drama and stuff than like the action part. I think that's why I probably enjoy this one a lot more. But it's just like the concepts with the precogs, and then he's like the go-getter cop to try to like stop all these, and then like it's against him all of a sudden, and then he's like trying to run, and it's just so good. I love that movie a lot. I say yes.
I never saw the Fox show that they did that was, I think, supposed to be a sequel. Was that any good?
They did a sequel TV
I think
Yeah.
I know they've done a Minority Report TV show. I don't think it's supposed to be a sequel, though.
Why? Was Tom Cruise in it?
No.
No.
what the fuck
Does
is
he
the
do
point?
Okay, before we get off track.
Yeah, okay. Go for it.
Getting off track, the subtitle for Take 3 Productions.
Truly is.
Chris, what would you have said about Minority Report?
For the Tom Cruise movie that I've been mentioning for a while, this is my favorite Tom Cruise sci-fi movie of that decade. I love Minority Report. Does the CGI did not hold up well, yes, but like the scene where him versus the people trying to arrest him, that scene, the twist at the end is really good. Tom Cruise really good in the movie. Colin Farrell really good in the movie. I wish they didn't kill him off too quickly because I think he was such an interesting counterpoint to Tom Cruise. Kind of like the Tommy Lee Jones to hit Harrison Ford Fugitive reference. But it's so good. And the Lamar thing, like, where you going, Lamar? And everything creepy to the end of, like, I got to tell you, I love Minority Report. Unlike Malcolm.
But anyway,
On Malcolm.
Matt, we go on to you for the next nomination. We've only got 3 spots left.
Yeah, we only have 3 spots left, which kind of sucks because I have a movie I want to bring up.
Same here.
But okay, so I'm gonna do this. I've done this before on Rank 'em, where I'm gonna go with one that if it gets a better chance of making the list, and then if it comes around to me, I will choose this next one. I already know Malcolm's gonna say no because I know he hasn't seen this movie, but I'm going with, I believe it's 2001's Unbreakable. This is a fantastic movie. Bruce Willis, Sam Jackson, Robin Wright. Just a great movie. Just a great fun superheroes and what if they were in our real world, how would they have to function. Bruce Willis' whole story of like kind of spending most of the movie trying to like hide his gifts, and just everything with Sam Jackson is great. The flashbacks to his childhood and sort of like that sort of like building of their characters until you get to the end. And I'm not going to say anything, but it is really just mind blowing, and it's great. So Unbreakable. Which, by the way, Malcolm, I checked IMDb. Number 3, it's sci-fi. So.
I wasn't going to tell. This is one that I looked at because I knew it was probably going to come up at one stage.
But you didn't watch it.
I mean, if it was streaming somewhere, then I might have watched it for this.
Malcolm can't even lie to me, but like I would have watched. He's like, I might have. I don't know.
But yeah, out of the unofficial trilogy that M. Night Shyamalan did with these movies, I've seen Split and Glass. Split made me interested in seeing Unbreakable. Glass kind of made me not want to see it or take my time at seeing it, so I haven't seen it. But Chad, what do you say about Unbreakable?
Yeah, this one, I mean, I'm not going to say it's like my favorite M. Night Shyamalan. It's definitely not, but I do like this movie. It was at kind of at the height of his rise before his inevitable fall, and you know, some may argue he may have had another rise again after I think The Visit,
Yeah.
but, which I kind of like The Visit, but Unbreakable, I really like this movie just because you know, it's while Bruce Willis was still kind of good in movies, and
while he was giving a shit, just say
right.
While he was
So yeah, just like a lot of the things, like the relationship between him and his son, like, you know, seeing this, like, you know, he survived his plane accident, and everyone's like, you're fine. There's nothing, no scars on you or anything. And then his son's like, he might be a superhero. And then he's like trying to get him to like lift all this stuff. And, you know, and then you have like the foil with Sam Jackson. What is he not great in? And so it's just like, you know, it's everything about it. It's just like a really, really good comic book film that didn't have like a comic book for it before. And it's just like, you know, it's just one of those. I don't think the other one is going to be mentioned, Signs. but I really love that one too. But yeah, I don't know if that's going to be mentioned. Sorry if it is, but I doubt it. So I wanted to highlight that a little bit, like honorable mention. But
Malcolm's like, there goes my next pick, I
oh,
guess.
sorry. But Unbreakable is definitely a good movie. I'll say yes.
Chris, what do you say about Unbreakable?
We down to the last three, and we definitely get to some situation. I think we do start hitting the shit pile that outside, not putting aside the comic book movie, but I do leave it, Steve. I do say no. I do love the movie a lot, but we down to the last three, and I have a bad feeling I do get mine in Super 3, and not get one great sci-fi movie nobody mentioned yet. And so I do have to say how much I love this movie. Did beat almost at my number 15 if I had to do outside.
And Stephen, what do you say about Unbreakable?
I'm conflicted because I love this movie. I think it is probably Shyamalan's best. Well, between this or The Sixth Sense, but even if it's written in IMDb as sci-fi, I don't really know if I can really consider this science fiction.
It's about superhumans. I mean, that's
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those
evolutionary.
With a lot of the superhero movies, it does have sci-fi in them. So,
okay, you convinced me. I'll say yes. I do love the movie. The only thing I'll say about Glass, though, you should give Unbreakable a shot, because even though I didn't think Glass was a terrible movie, it is probably the second most disappointing movie I've ever seen in my life, because of how much I love Unbreakable. And I just think Shyamalan did the David Dunn character, especially. I think he did him wrong in that movie.
The movie ends right up until they twist the child parts, and that made Glass good me.
alright, I've got a few movies on my list in mind to bring up next. One I think has a good chance of being brought up by someone else. I'm going to go for this.
Don't repeat a Mighty Ducks situation to where you assume that and then no one does. Fucking never.
I mean, I wouldn't have brought it up. I was going
to. Yeah, I know you wouldn't have brought it up,
Malcolm.
I know you. Do I need to go and get the jersey? Quack, 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 quack.
But anyway,
quack, quack, quack.
It's a not movie trilogy. So.
but anyway, the one I'm going to bring up, I've got to be careful not to say too loudly, because a certain outlaw might show up. I'm bringing up the first Transformers movie. This is one I saw I saw this for the first time this year, and this is legitimately a good movie. Yes, a lot of the sequels weren't as great. The first one is a good movie, and I actually think it is really enjoyable. And I think it does belong on this list. Chad, what do you say about the first Transformers movie?
Yeah, so like I do want to highlight I think Shia LaBeouf was really good in that movie, and I love, because he had like a kind of a downfall there, but he's on like a rise now, so I really like a lot of his work now. Right. I really like a lot of his work now, actually. But I think just because the Transformer, I also really love Bumblebee, by the way. But that being said, the rest of the Transformers are, like, in my opinion, like so bad that I just feel like giving a yes to even the first Transformers movie, even though, like, Michael Bay might have done like some cool action stuff with it. I think that giving a yes to it kind of even a little bit validates the other ones, and I don't want to do that. So I'm definitely going to say no to it as being like a great movie, even though it might be underrated.
Chris, say your piece on Transformers.
We talking about the film itself. It's good. A good movie. But the sequels, up until, and I would strongly disagree, not all of them bad, Bumblebee is actually really good Transformers movie. That, to me, the only truly great one out of them. But it's just like Megatron would not use well. And like I got to say now, I do like the first one. I just like Anthony Anderson, like the do not bit in the interrogation. That comes to mind every time I think of it. And I do like Optimus Prime. It's just like it took a Bumblebee to me to really appreciate a Transformers movie and fall in love with the Transformers character. Like Bumblebee itself, to me, was Bumblebee movie, not in for Transformers movie. And Megan Fox cannot act. I am sorry to anybody who likes Megan Fox. She's one of the voice actresses out there. It is coming from someone who had to watch Johnny Head for the first time this year.
So I'm guessing it's a no then?
No. It wasn't for the sequel, I would say yeah, but it's just the sequel is so bad up until Bumblebee, and Bumblebee to me came in far too late in that decade.
I'm confused. Yeah, yes or no?
But Stephen, what do you say about Transformers?
I kind of liked Dark of the Moon, and Bumblebee was all right, but I don't like any of the other Transformers movies, and that does include the first one.
Matt, what do you say? What do you say about Transformers?
Yeah, I thought this movie came out in 1986, but I guess maybe I had my years really off. But no, it is a great movie. I mean, The Touch is one of the great songs of all time. Judd Nelson is my favorite Transformer. Hot Rod is incredible. I'm sorry, what? Oh, Michael Bay. I'm sorry, guys. I don't really feel like I'm in the... Okay, so my feelings are about the Transformers movies are totally... by the way, guys, product placement, Swedish Fish. Also, by the way, we are now in Asia for reasons, because it's not like I'm trying to hit a different marketplace. Not
One decade,
ever.
okay.
Also, by the way, guys, look, it's Mark Wahlberg here. I'm freaking here all of a sudden because even Stevens couldn't do his shit. I don't know.
Hello, my name is Merlin. I am drunk. Ooh.
Yeah, so the first Transformers movie, the second, let's be honest, because the 86 one is the greatest Transformers movie ever. The first live action one, which there's actually real people in it, so it's not like Lion King. It's fine. I haven't seen it in a while. I will say, out of all of those Bay movies, it has the most Spielberg-ness to it. Like, I feel like he was pretty involved on this one, so you get that, like, that, like, Spielberg-ness. I just haven't seen it in so long, and it will piss John Roca off if I say no, so I feel like I gotta say no.
See what?
I don't know. I'll send it to him and tag him. Of course. And I'll send him this moment.
But
it's added to Bernie Mac is one of his last movies in Transformers. Right?
On that note, I'd like to introduce. No, he's not here.
He's just been sitting off in the corner. Hey, Outlaw here. I gotta say, Transformers is incredible. I can't do a John Roca because I don't want an impression of you. Yeah, you hear that, Johnny? Johnny? Yeah, I'm gonna call you Johnny now.
The last night was the only time I ever gave the middle finger to the screen. I actually gave the middle finger and walked out of the movie.
But on that note, Chad, what's the next one you're going to bring up?
Yeah, so this it might be the last one that I get to do probably. So
never say never, man.
Looking at my list, it's like between like two, because we haven't done any horror movies yet, and so I have actually two of them on there that I really wanted to highlight, and I think they're great. But I think the one that I liked more, just slightly, would be 28 Days Later. This movie, it was written by Alex Garland, who's like gone on to do a lot of great sci-fi, like Ex Machina and Annihilation and stuff like that. This movie is just like a really cool zombie movie. It's got the fast zombies, right? So that's scary as hell. Like a lot of the movies, they're just really slow, and this one just has the speed ones, and it's just like it's really like cool how they were able to do everything that they did. They kind of achieved the Tom Cruise effect from Vanilla Sky without having to clear out like London or whatever. They just shot at like opportune times and stuff like that. And it's a very kind of grainy looking movie. So it doesn't, like, even if you're watching on Blu-ray, it doesn't look like fantastic, but I think that kind of aids in like kind of an old style zombie movie. So I think this one's really great. And damn, what's his name? Cillian Murphy. I just think like just following him around with a bunch of zombies, I just think is great. So I really love that movie.
Chris, what do you say about 28 Days Later?
We down to the last two. I try to remember I have seen this movie. I've seen the sequel, but did I see the first one? I had to abstain because I don't remember it. And I do like zombie, I do like sci-fi. Not my favorite zombie movie of this decade. I sadly cannot be the other one because not sci-fi. You know what I mean? But for what I've seen a little bit of it is good, but I need to see the whole movie to have an opinion on.
Stephen, what do you say about 28 Days Later?
It's a good movie. I liked it. I liked it a lot. But yeah, there's only 2 spots left, so I think there are probably better movies that could be put in on the list. So I'm gonna say no.
Matt, what do you say about 28 Days Later?
Never seen it, so I say no.
I mean, I've seen it. I would say no too. This is just like this is just one that I like. But I probably like the sequel more.
Interesting.
And I'll probably
29 days later.
28 weeks later.
Oh, well, all right. Good on you.
I mean, maybe we'll get it. Maybe we'll get another sequel 28 months later eventually.
I mean, you can keep going. You can go 28 years later, 28 centuries later. I mean, it's like Sharknado movies. You can just randomly keep going.
But Chris, what is your next nomination?
Okay, I hope that this yet because probably nobody brought it up yet. It came out 2009. No, it's not Avatar. Before anybody say it's the other sci-fi movie that year, directed by Neil Blomkamp, called Shopper Copley. Probably my favorite alien type movie that came out that decade. District 9. It kind of did a disturbing look at alien and like concentration camp situation with human torturing them. Chopper Copley being the castle who during his job they get turned into it. You kind of see the reversal. The vast happening. You got really emotional, compelling stuff with the alien. I wished it would get a sequel because they set it up so well at the end with the alien comedy coming back. You feel invested with the alien and his son. You feel sympathy for Chopper Copley once the transformation happened. And man, that scene where he transformed into government torturing is so tough to sit through. It had to be on District 9. It's probably one of the more underrated. And I would near Blomkamp would go back to what he did with District 9, not Chappie or Elysium, like, because it's such a good movie. And Chopper Copley is really good actor when he could give it the right material. So District 9.
Stephen,
what do you say about District 9?
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I do remember loving it. So I'll say yes.
Matt, what do you say about District 9?
I was in 7th grade when this movie came out, so I didn't see it. I still haven't seen it. I'm sorry. I'll fight you. I'll fight you. Is Michael Caine in that movie? Is he high in that movie as well? Dude, I'm sorry, you sold me on Children of Men with just that notion.
I mean, I was involved in this movie. I helped produce the movie.
Oh, at first I'm thinking, oh, were you like an extra? That's what you're saying. And then you motherfucker. You motherfucker.
I'm also going to say no to this movie because I really don't like District 9.
Whoa.
The producer's just trashing his own film. What are you, Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane? Anyone? No? All right.
I mean, sometimes
The
you got
smart jokes you guys don't laugh at. I get it.
I get the producer joke. That's fine.
The producers.
I mean,
Another musical.
I mean, sometimes a flop can make more money than a hit.
All right, see what you did there. Oh, okay. You know what? I'll go back to Michael Bay.
This is not a movie musical, Wyndham.
which means it's on you, Chad.
Yeah, I this is really hard, it being on me, because the unfortunate situation that we're in is I have not seen this all the way through. I've tried to get into the movie, and honestly, I've heard so many great things about it that I'm sure it probably does belong on the list. But like I've been trying to get into this movie, and I'm gonna watch it soon. I'll probably watch it with the wife. If I watch things on my own, if I'm like not getting into it, I could just go, yeah, never mind. But if I'm watching it with her, it's kind of like a commitment. So, I'll sit down and I'll actually watch this movie. But I guess I just can't say yes to something I haven't totally seen all the way through. But I've heard it's great.
I gotta say, that's a beautiful marriage when you're just like, look, if I'm doing something on my own, fuck it, I can leave. But when I'm with her, it's a commitment for everything. I say till death do us part, and that includes movies I may not give a shit about.
I mean, if you want to literally get into a movie, you need a special remote to climb
I was
in.
gonna say, did you try like sneak it in, and the theaters just like caught you, and they're like, you don't have a ticket.
I mean, that's not where I was going with what I was meaning. But,
That would be science.
You weren't on that Wi-Fi.
That would be science fiction if I climbed into the television.
I mean, there was a good movie about that called Pleasantville, starring Tobey Maguire.
That's from the 90s.
Yeah.
It doesn't count.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, we never had Instagram.
Hey.
What the fuck are you
Sorry.
talking about now?
I'm talking about my list because I am running out of just great ones to talk about.
So, District 9, huh?
Anyways, Stephen, on to you.
I'm between like 2 or 3.
Yeah, now it's really hard to pick.
And this is probably the last time. So I'm going to go with The South, which I think is a great serial killer thriller, great race against the clock thriller, and just a really cool, sci-fi concept of going into Jennifer Lopez having to go into the killer's mind.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Trying to find out where his victim is at. And visually, it's one of the most stunning movies I think you'll ever see. The production design is awesome.
When you said the title, I thought you said The Sound.
I said The South.
But yeah, Matt, The Cell is on the table.
I've never seen it, so sorry.
Yeah, this is one that I think I might have seen, but I don't remember. So I'm going to say no. Chad, what do you say about The Cell?
Yeah, I don't think I was like into these movies when I was like 10 in 2000. So I've never seen it either. I'd check it out if it was on streaming.
And Chris looks like he's in a Matrix Reloaded rave right now. But,
oh my god, yeah.
Just no.
All
I would say just no.
The music's gotta be there. It's like and of course it stops. Right after
That's a little
I
bit not
start
that
eating.
bad at it, but no, I just do leave it at that just now.
But Matt, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
Well, Malcolm, obviously, you're talking about Zion and Matrix and
Oh no!
no, I'm not doing it. No. Malcolm knows how I feel about the first one. You think I'd like the sequel better? No. I'm just gonna bring this up. Probably gonna know, but you know what? Screw it. My name is John Connor. If you're listening to this, then you're part of the resistance. If we stay the course, we are dead. We are all dead. I'm talking about 2009's Terminator Salvation, which I think is an extremely underrated film. It is my favorite of the sequels after 2, because obviously Terminator 2. I haven't seen Dark Fate, so maybe Dark Fate. I think this is a great movie. I think Christian Bale is great as John Connor. The story with Marcus and that whole sort of notion of he thinks he's human and sort of having to realize that he's not. And then also, like, for John Connor, like, I really like the fact that, like, he hates Marcus because Marcus is the embodiment of, like, literally everything that has been trying to kill him his entire existence. I think Anton Yelchin is great as Kyle Reese. And it just builds to a really great, like, climax with the fight with the T-800 and Marcus and John and sort of their relationship and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I know how you feel about the Matrix. You know how I feel about the Terminator franchise.
Actually, I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure I talked about this when we did the 90s one.
Malcolm, do you know how many streams I've been on with you? You think I could pick out every minute film we've spoken about in the, like, 2 years we've been doing this stuff together?
But yeah, I've only seen the first 2 Terminator movies. I have not had the interest to go see any more because I'm not a big fan of the first 2 Terminator movies. So yeah,
The door is
it's a
locked.
no from me. Chad, what do you say about Terminator Salvation?
Yeah, I mean, no offense to Malcolm, but that was kind of insanity. The first 2 are really great films, actually. But yeah, I haven't seen any other Terminators after those. It's not that I.
I've got to put this up.
Oh, right. It's not that I don't have an interest. It's just I never got around to them. However, that one gave us the crazy Christian Bale rant freak out. So.
Oh my God! Malcolm? You set me up. You and me, we're fucking dumb professionally. You're a nice guy. I'm gonna fucking kick your fucking ass.
That's good. So I can't say yes. I haven't seen it.
Oh, good for you. And how was it, Chad? Oh, it was good because your vote's fucking useless now, isn't it?
But Chris, you're going to say yes, aren't you?
You totally get up right when you mention it. I think I say a lot. This is I forget you one thing. You mentioned one good thing. Anthony Yelchin is really good in the movie. But besides that, the movie is a piece of crap. It's
la-di-ti-da like this in the background, huh?
It's such an insult to the only Terminator thing I consider from this decade is the TV show. That's saying something. You had the TV show were better than the 2 movies we got from that decade.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you like the TV show. Do I come around and rip your fucking lights down in the middle of your vote? And why are you trying to fuck with my vote?
Because Christian Bale and not John Connor, like, I saw him. I think was it Sam Worthington?
Sam Worthington was Marcus.
Was not good. And Michelle Rodriguez, I don't know what movie she was in. Like, it was just like, and the Arnold Schwarzenegger cameo was so embarrassing and so like, oh my God.
It wasn't really a cameo because they CGI'd him from the first movie.
And then the I'd Be Back line and the way they try to put in some of the more classic line was like, oh my God, what movie am I watching? I mean, it's nowhere bad as Genesis. Genesis is much worse Terminator movie, but I came up with Terminator. That fate was fine. I mean, that was got me back a little bit, but like the last 3 Terminator movie before that were Pizza Crap after Pizza Crap.
Stephen, what would you have said about Salvation?
You might want to put the hot take alert back on because I'm an unapologetic fan of this franchise, except for Dark Fate. I didn't. I thought Dark Fate was so. But the first 2 are obviously the best. But I think Salvation is my 3rd favorite. I actually like it a lot.
All right,
well, that nomination now was useless now, isn't it, huh?
Guys,
hopefully we get some better picks.
My battery's really low, so I have to rush real quickly to get my charger.
It's all good.
Oh, good for you, Steven. And how was it?
God, I hope we doping up the other sci-fi.
Yeah, just Lottie T
Thank
like
you,
this in the back. Oh my god, man.
But anyway, it's
like I feel bad for him because like you understand like he was really overstressed and everything, but fuck if that's not funny to listen to still.
But anyway, it's
2 hours
back to me. And I'm surprised it's gone about 2 hours and we haven't mentioned this movie. I'm gonna
Still have to rank all this. Oh lord.
Yeah. But I'm surprised this one has not came up at all. It's Iron Man. Iron Man literally kicked off a whole franchise. The first Iron Man is a good movie. And it's fun and like he bought the suit from entire scraps in his cave, and it's just a fun movie. Like this, like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang sort of catapulted Robert Downey Jr. back into the world, and this one sort of brought him back into the mainstream more. And I mean, this is one we could have had Tom Cruise's Tony Stark, but after having Robert Downey Jr. as Stark for all these movies, I don't think I can actually imagine Tom Cruise in the role anymore. But Chad, what do you say about Iron Man?
Yeah, Jon Favreau crushed it with this movie actually. And like you said, it kicked off an entire like one of the biggest franchises of all time. And while I don't actually know if I would put this in my top 5 of all time of MCUs. It would probably it would definitely be in the top 10. But it's a great movie. Since we can't talk about all those, then it's just like Robert Downey Jr. Jeff Bridges is great. Gwyneth Paltrow is even pretty good in it. I mean, I wasn't like a huge comic book fan. I didn't read a lot of that, but it hooked me in with like the AC/DC, and then with him just like kind of proving his tenacity or whatever to not give up in a time of crisis, being captured by terrorists or whatever, and then building this suit, and it's great. I love that movie.
But Chris, what do you say about Iron Man?
So between this and one other comic book movie from my list, it would like we need a good movie on here because so far at Terminator and the other one I won't mention, we need something good. Like I don't say that because I do love Iron Man. This is probably the best MC movie of this decade. Incredible Hulk was good but not great, but I do love Iron Man a lot. I have a problem with the final battle a little bit in terms of CGI, but I do love the first half. I love the ending and I love the middle half. That little section alone I had a little problem with. But I have to say, yeah, I am Iron Man. Without that, we would have Robert Downey Jr. as we know today.
And with that, Iron Man does make this list. Stephen, what would you have said about Iron Man?
Well, it doesn't matter, but because I would have probably said no, because even though I think it's a great movie, we already have one comic book adaptation and another superhero movie.
Actually, I have 2, so I forgot I had one more.
But Matt, what would you have said about Iron Man?
man, it's a really good first half of a film, and then just I don't
Hot
know.
take.
Movie. I think
What's he
this
doing?
movie. I think this movie. I think Downey Jr. is good in it, but I think this movie just flies off of the fumes of the rest of the MCU, and everyone just goes back and goes, when's the last time?" Honestly, I'm not saying this is just a general thing. When's the last time people have actually revisited this movie? Because I feel like this is a movie to where everyone's like, "Oh,
I did.
it's fantastic." And it's like, when have you watched it? And I'm like, a number of years. It's like rewatch it. The first half is great, but it kind of trails off. Like Jeff Bridges is so just he built this in his basement. Like he's so just God, and I love the dude, but
Really, Bob
man, this
Thornton
movie
interested?
it made the list. And look, sometimes you
I
just
love
need
me
to
from the
fall.
Christmas day. Come
Oh
on.
God, I talk about fucking hell, man.
Mm.
Oh man,
Oh, come on. But the thing with him when he takes Tony Stark,
I
I
think
think
it's
think the
like
first
now
half
going
of
just
the movie
standing
is
over
really
him
good.
is
Once
a
he
great
gets out of the
scene.
cave, once he gets out of the cave, it's all.
But anyway, we've got one spot left. Chad, what are you going to bring up?
Right. I didn't think this was gonna happen.
Never assume when we have
We
two
need an
spots left
animated.
let's
True.
not get back to you. All right.
I mean, I kind of in the vein of what Steven was saying is that yeah, we have a lot of comic book ones still. So I don't want to highlight another one of those, but I would really like to try to get a horror on there. 'Cause
Oh, please
we got
no.
a comedy, we got we have a drama in the Prestige. We have pretty much every genre except horror, I would say. So I would I'll just bring up The Host. I think that one because like Bong Joon-ho right now is like one of the best, and he just came out with Parasite, which is it's a semi-horror movie in itself. Um, and there's just like what like Snowpiercer. He's had like a great like rise, and I feel like the Host is like this really good. I didn't know if I would like it, and the creature that's in it, when it first appears, you're like, oh, that's it, and then it's like you're like, is this gonna be good? And it's just like it like actually kind of does hold up the more you watch it, and then like just with the acting of I forget the guy's name, and I feel really bad because he's in like all the Bong Joon-ho movies, but it's just like such a sweet movie about him trying to get back to his daughter because it's kind of like his fault that she gets like snatched up, and this monster's just out just snatching people up, and it's kind of like people are in quarantines kind of like were wherever country you are, and I think it's a really fun, great, deep horror movie. I like that one a lot. The scares are really great.
I think the actor you're thinking of is Song Kang Ho or something like that.
You talk about the dad from Parasite?
Oh yeah. The dad from Parasite, yes.
Really good actor.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Chris, what do you think of The Host?
I love Bong Joon-ho. I have not seen it yet. I've been on my list to see because I love Parasite. I love Snowpiercer. Like, Parasite is my favorite movie of the last decade. Like, but it's just like I need to see it. On my list. I just like haven't got a chance to watch it.
Yeah.
Because every time I think of The Host, I think of that stupid YA movie. That's why I try not to make sure I get it.
Yeah, no, not that one.
Stephen, what do you think of The Host?
I have to say no because I haven't seen it.
Matt, what do you think of The Host?
Never seen it.
Oh shit.
I hate doing that. That's part of ranking I hate. It's
Yeah, I mean, this is one I haven't seen. Like, those that know me know that I'm not a big Bond movie guy as it is. So I'll give them a try if it's a little one that with high praise and that, but it's just not movies I've always gravitate towards.
It is kind of hard to find, and it is like a foreign movie, so I feel like that's why kind of a lot of people haven't jumped on it. But I really enjoyed that one, so I would check it out if you're remotely interested. You like Bong Joon-ho?
Malcolm, how many spots do we have left?
One, right?
One, yes.
Okay, cool. Man, have I not missed Rankum? 14. Whew.
I mean, it's one of those ones like it depends on the panel too and how much.
No, it's more just myself. I just haven't been on Rankum in a while. I forgot about this.
Anyway, Chris, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
Okay, should I go for animated or should I just go for comic book? I'm running out of my theories. Okay, you know what? I'll tell you go for the other comic book movie that I had on my list. A bunch of stuff. It's kind of horror. It's kind of comic book. It's sci-fi. It realistic, especially with what's going today. It deal with experimenting when you get in the later half. I'm going for V for Vendetta because it deals with the sci-fi come for the experiment and you find out about V when you get to his backstory, and it kind of. And when I look at IMDb and you go further down, it does say sci-fi. Well.
Yeah, Stephen, what do you say about V for Vendetta?
I didn't finish.
Oh. No, it was a pause. I don't know what you were waiting for.
Because we're waiting to see, you were looking to see if it was sci-fi or not. That was like holding back for a second.
No, sci-fi is one of the top 3 at IMDb.
Okay.
So yeah, that's.
So
I wasn't
it is. We're ever thinking if we want to get a really good, had to go. V for Vendetta, especially you go back and rewatch it today. It's scary realistic to what's going on today. With William Hurt with the Trump light thing, and then the virus story with the hospital. It's scary as hell. And it's great for Hugo is so good. Nag Point is really good. Like the prison scene is brilliant. And God of the Rain was one of the best moments in any comic book movie. The music's good. The ending is powerful. It's funny and intense. The confrontation between him and Mr. Cree at the end is one of the best, fuck yeah moments in the movie. And really good dialogue. I think the dialogue gets overlooked every time people talk about the movie because there are some really good one-liners, great speech given in the movie. So I had to go with V Vendetta. We had to have another great comic book movie in here. And between that and another one that I might bring up when we get to honorable mention. We get to it.
Stephen, what do you say about V for Vendetta?
Well, I know I said no to Iron Man because we already have some comic books movies in here, but and V for Vendetta was one of those that I was contemplating bringing up because I wasn't sure if I really personally considered sci-fi, but now that it's been brought up, I guess I got to say yes because I do love this movie, and I think it's one of the best movies of the decade period, let alone that's one of the best sci-fi movies.
Matt, what do you what do you say about V for Vendetta?
It's really tough because it's not like a movie that I think of as sci-fi right off the bat, but I guess it does work. Look at my list. There's none left that I would be really too upset to make it. So I'll say yes to V for Vendetta. I think it's a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, I had the same thoughts. I would have said no to this, just for the reason that I personally don't consider it sci-fi, even though it is clearly labelled as it on IMDb.
I can't fight for Spider-Man being on here because of the whole science thing, and not say no to V for Vendetta because technically how he gets.
I mean, it's one of those ones. I also would have said no because there's a couple on here which I'm sad is not going to be brought up now. But yeah,
I've been struggling a little bit.
Malcolm, I think that's the caption for Rankum. There's a couple I'm sad will be brought up.
But Chad, what would you have said about V for Vendetta?
Yeah, this one, I've seen it a couple times, but not recently, and I feel like this one is definitely a great movie, and I probably would have said yes, because I think pretty much just like Natalie Portman. I mean, like pretty much most stuff that she's in is just really great. I think this one, like you said, like relevant to the times and all those V words, and
Irrelevant to today.
like it's he's kind of like a weird terrorist in a way, but like he means he's trying to do good, and I kind of respect that. I don't know. It's a really good movie. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Revolutionary.
and fun fact though, I literally just found out the second. It was written by the Wachowskis that did the Matrix movies.
Yeah, Chelsea's, yeah.
Oh,
But on that note, we've got our 12 movies that we're going to be ranking in just a bit. But Chad, did you have any honorable mentions?
yes, yeah. Okay, so what did I not get to? I mean, just like there's so many. Like it was such a good decade for like comic book movies. Probably would have said like if we got down to it, I probably would have mentioned X2 was really good. I think because a lot of these I tried to just keep like one per kind of like franchise or whatever, and like X-Men being its own little mini franchise. I think that's the best one from that decade. And I kind of forgot, like actually right after I said The Prestige, I kind of forgot that The Dark Knight would have counted. And I do like The Dark Knight a little more than I do like The Prestige, just because of, Batman and just like, everything, just like all of the cool practical effects that he did, and a lot of the moral questions in it. I really like that one a lot. And it wouldn't have counted, but if it would have, it definitely wouldn't have counted because it's just magic. But like all the Harry Potters in there, I love those.
Yeah,
those definitely wouldn't have counted. They're not science. And Signs wouldn't have counted either, right?
What? How would Signs have counted? It's about aliens.
Yeah, Signs is definitely sci-fi.
Oh, well, then I should have maybe mentioned that. I really love that one, and I love the Sixth Sense. I think Sixth Sense is probably his best movie.
1999.
Yeah, and for the record, I don't know if I personally would have counted The Dark Knight, just because I don't really consider it sci-fi, and it's actually not labeled sci-fi on IMDb either. So
right, yeah.
But Chris, did you have any honorable mentions left?
Yeah, so the animation movie I made reference to, Titan AE, I like a lot. Treasure Planet, I think, was another one for Disney. I think it's really underrated. The comic book movie I ever mentioned for Hellboy 2: The Golden Army, yeah, it's fantasy, but there's a fallen character and the horror and sci-fi element added in, kind of make it both. Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, another animated movie I do like from this decade. It's from this franchise. It's the only sci-fi one. The second Spy Kid, because Steve Buscemi character with him creating the monster on the island and everything very sci-fi-ish, and it does give a lot of the sci-fi element. And then for Jiggle, I do like this movie. I think it not unwanted hate, but a lot of Alan Rickman in it. Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy. Alan Rickman steals that movie every time he's on screen.
Stephen, did you have any honorable mentions?
AI, Artificial Intelligence, another great Spielberg sci-fi movie. Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow, I love. I know it's got made fun of, but I really liked The Matrix Reloaded. That great freeway chase scene. It's awesome. Chris already mentioned Titan AE. I have that on my honorable mentions as well. Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. I never saw the original Solaris, but I like the Steven Soderbergh remake. Equilibrium. Primer. I'm surprised actually that nobody brought up Primer. Actually, one movie that I meant to see for tonight, I didn't get around to watching, that I was surprised no one brought up was Moon.
I would think about that, but I haven't
I like
seen it.
Moon. I like Sam Rockwell a lot.
And yeah.
I was just gonna say one other one. I'm not sure if this counts as sci-fi or if it's just fantasy, but I really enjoyed the post-apocalyptic Reign of Fire with Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey
Yeah.
with the dragons.
Yeah, on the note of Primer, that's one of the very few movies that I've walked out on in my life. I really do not like Primer.
Only thing I ever walked out with.
But Matt, what honorable mentions do you have?
I didn't really have a lot. I kind of went through my list because I tried to sort of limit comic book movies. I had, which right off the bat, I say Men in Black 2. I had Jurassic Park 3 and X2, and Zephora were really the only other ones I had on my list. So.
Yeah, just going from I had a lot of what's already been mentioned now, but on my list I had Hollow Man, starring
Kevin Bacon.
the great purveyor of meat, Kevin Bacon. I had Atlantis: The Lost Empire, which I thought was the Disney movie everyone was talking about. And I enjoyed Jason X. And funny enough, like Stephen May said, he liked Matrix Reloaded. I really like Matrix Revolutions. So I had the Butterfly Effect on mine. The Stepford Wives. I had on my list. I also had Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I had The Island on mine. I also had on my list. I mentioned that I enjoyed it last week on video game movies. I had Doom. And I mean, I was considering bringing up Avatar because I do like that movie. And also, just because I was limiting Superman movies, I was considering bringing up Superman Returns. I think that's severely underrated. But that,
No
both
comment.
that, yeah, onto the voting part.
Oh, snap, that's right.
I had to go with the only one I haven't seen.
But just to recap, what's on the list, we've got Spider-Man 2, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Minds, Idiocracy, Star Trek 09, Revenge of the Sith, Wall-E, Children of Men, The Prestige, Minority Report, Unbreakable, Iron Man, and V for Vendetta. A bunch of great science fiction movies.
I'm happy nobody brought Avatar.
I mean, it's one of those ones that I had a feeling it probably was going to get noted anyway, so I chose not to. But that was the one I was talking about when I said I've got three in mind to bring up now. One of them's definitely not going to make this list. The Avatar, that was the Avatar. But Chad, what do you have for 12?
For 12, Star Wars for sure.
Chris.
I have to go with the only one I haven't seen, Idiocracy.
Stephen.
Oh, Idiocy.
Matt.
Iron Man.
I mean, this is going to hurt me because I brought it up, but I do like this movie. But for me, it's the weaker of the ones I've seen on here, Idiocracy. So Idiocracy is going to be 12.
Okay, let's go with the one that
I had it at
I
11.
to.
So.
You may admit, and let the comment hate me for saying
no. But Chris, what do you have for 11?
Goodbye, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Stephen.
I know it's not going to go through because everyone loves it, but Wall-E.
Matt.
Iron Man.
I also put Wally.
Hmm.
Chad.
Yeah, definitely Star Wars still.
So Matt, Wally or Star Wars episode
gonna be
3?
You motherfuckers. Wally.
Oh, that hurt.
A little.
Don't love Wally, but better than episode 3.
Agreed.
But Stephen, what do you have for 10?
Spider-Man 2.
Ooh!
Matt, what do you have for 10?
Iron Man.
For 10, I've got Minority Report.
Ooh!
Chad, what do you have for 10?
Star Wars.
Chris.
Yeah, the only thing for me is Star Wars. Me and Matt. No offense to you guys, but just joking.
I'm offended.
It's on the list.
It's the internet. Nah, but I'm offended, man. Nothing's good enough for me.
I mean, let's put it this way, the chat's probably going to blow up with the fact that Vengeance Sith is on the list.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for it now. And watch, everyone's gonna
Okay.
think that I brought it up, even
Hold
though I
on,
don't
I have to
really
look
think,
what we have
even though
left.
I don't really think Star Wars even counts as science fiction. It's fantasy. Star Trek is
Yeah.
science fiction.
Well, I mean,
Science.
Okay, I go with this.
And
anyway,
it's totally fiction because there's like sound in space.
I mean, it's
All right,
like,
Albert.
I mean, anyway, I mean, it's one of those really
You know,
I like
arguments.
Tyson over here.
Anyway, to move away from arguments about is Star Wars sci-fi or fantasy, Matt, what do you have for 9?
Iron Man.
I've still got Minority Report.
Me and
Chad.
Malcolm, we're of the same.
I'm
region.
sorry. Hold on. I'm writing it right now.
So,
I second Malcolm's Minority Report.
Chris.
Unbreakable.
Stephen.
Everything in the list is great except for the good Spider-Man 2.
Ooh.
But Minority Report gets it. Malcolm.
Okay, I still go with mine. Maybe I could go with the other one.
Regrets. What will probably be number 1? Based on
My
everyone's
number one is-
reaction, I wouldn't be surprised if Eternals.
My number one going back and forth between 2 right now. For them.
Chad, what do you have for 8?
I'll put Unbreakable for 8.
Unbreakable.
Chris.
Unbreakable.
Stephen.
Spider-Man 2. Phil.
Matt.
Legit doesn't matter because I have Iron Man and Malcolm has whatever he had before.
I put V for Vendetta.
Oh, you changed? Oh wait, no, because
Well, I
my
mean-
report just got on there. Of course, you had to change it. Right. It doesn't matter. Unbreakable.
Matt was just hoping. Matt just refused to believe Minority Report was 9.
I'm so out of it, man. My God, I forgot what Rankin was like. I haven't been here in a while. Forgot how long this process is. It's really fun, but it's just like I forgot.
But Chris, what do you have for 7?
I did one for Iron Man, but it next on my list. Iron Man.
Oh, Spider-Man. Stephen.
Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man 2. Sticking
Oh.
with Spider-Man 2.
Matt.
Well, I kind of went ahead and I changed the font on Iron Man.
I've still got V for Vendetta. Chad.
I think it's going to be V for Vendetta.
No, it's tied because Iron Man to Iron Man thing.
Spider-Man 2 or V for Vendetta at 7?
Iron Man 2.
All
Iron
right.
Man. I got Iron Man.
I forgot he did Iron Man.
Yeah, so Steven has to choose between Iron Man
Mhm.
or V for Vendetta.
That'll be Iron Man then.
Oh, what?
Hmm.
Yeah, he didn't say Spider-Man, he said Iron Man.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
right
but
here,
Steven
Iron
just
Man.
said
Wait,
Iron Man.
wait.
Iron Man.
No,
Whoop. Steven said Spider-Man 2, but Chris and me both said Iron Man. You both said V for Vendetta, which means Steven has to choose between V for Vendetta and Iron Man.
And Steven
picked
chose Iron Man.
Yes. Who was on first? Well, crap.
Okay.
Now I have to
so-
look at
It's
this
like-
list.
You gotta say something else now. What?
Damn it.
Oh god, that's
At least we now got rid of one of the superheroes with man in there, so don't have that confusion anymore.
Yeah.
So just to recap,
wait,
we've got
wait,
left.
man.
We got Spider-Man 2, Eternal Sunshine, Star Trek 09, Children of Men, The Prestige, V for Vendetta, and I think and that is it. Yeah. Matt, what do you have for 6?
V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta. Chad?
Heyo, V for Vendetta.
I went with Spider-Man 2.
Chris?
Spider-Man 2. Actually, V for Vendetta to me is better than Spider-Man 2.
And Steven changed his vote to V for Vendetta. I like you. You work with me and Malcolm. We're in the school of 5. You know what? I want it low, so I'm just not going to change it until it gets low, which is pretty much I'm just going to try to keep it out number 1. That's.
If the asteroid that bottom me is Spider-Man 2.
Oh, man.
Alright. I'm gonna go first on this one. I've got The Prestige.
Ooh.
Chad.
Oh.
Hold on. Star Trek.
Ooh.
Chris.
Spider-Man 2.
Steven.
Still sticking with Spider-Man 2.
Matt.
I gotta because spiders. Yeah, that's good. Spider-Man 2.
Wow. I still say Spider-Man 2 is the best one on this list.
Oh!
Well, obviously the person who brought it up would say that, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
I love Spider-Man
My
2, but
first
that
one.
is hot take.
Oh, this
I
is
don't think it's a hot
Of everything that's still on, I think my favorite is probably Eternal Sunshine or Children of Men.
Yeah.
Oh, don't play your hand there, Steve. I wonder what you're not gonna put on your list.
But Chris, what do you have for 4?
Pay me the Prestige. I back and forth. I can't see the sci-fi not because.
Steven.
Oh man, that's like an album cover. Oh.
Star Trek.
Matt.
Children of Men.
Ooh.
I've got The Prestige.
Let's say Star Trek. So Matt.
The Prestige. No. Star Trek is not gonna go in the top 3.
So Matt, Star Trek or The Prestige?
I said the Prestige. I said the Prestige because Star Trek is not getting lower than the top 3.
Well, that's true.
My camera, I froze a little bit. So
See, I think there's a dead bad in
He
there.
said Star
So
Trek.
what? Until he said "yeah, Clippins," gotta learn to listen.
I mean, this was like I kind of figured that you wanted to put Star Trek low, but
He just presumes
on that
things
note,
about me, guys. That's what
I-
this is. He just presumes things.
I've also been spelling
it's
Star
as
Trek.
if I haven't. It's as if I haven't known you for ages.
Well, technically, I don't know. How long would you count an age for?
I don't know. It's been less
been
than 4 years anyway.
2 years. No, it hasn't been 4 years. You were.
Well, I said it's
Sorry.
been less than 4 years because we didn't know each other before Take 3. So
Yeah, we're just
started.
plugging away, guys. By the way, 4 years today we started. So
we've got Children of Men, Star Trek, and Eternal Sunshine left. Stephen, what do you have?
Picking with Star Trek.
Matt, what do you have for 3?
Children of Men. Please, guys, don't pick Star Trek because then I'm literally picking between 2 films I haven't seen for number 1.
I'm sorry, Matt, but I've got Star Trek.
Should I just leave? I don't think this is fair. I can't vote. I haven't seen these. I'm not gonna vote because I haven't seen either one of these films.
Well, I mean, you can vote based on which one you want to see.
I'm not. No, I'm just gonna. You know what? I'm just gonna wait, and I guess I'll just flip a coin. Should you guys not figure out amongst yourselves?
But yeah, it's come down to Star Trek. Not Star. Children of Men and Eternal Sunshine.
But Spotless fine.
Did not see that coming.
This is like a great movie, and it's tough to choose people though.
But where should I start? Chad, it's Eternal Sunshine or Children of Men?
This is legit hard. All
That's
right.
what she did.
I'll have to go. Oh, I'm sorry. I actually did the wrong one. Sorry.
Yeah, we're voting for number 1 instead of number 2. So
I'll put Eternal Sunshine at number 2.
no, I said we're voting on our number 1s instead of going straight to
I'll
number
put
2.
Children Men at number 1.
Yeah,
Children of Men.
yeah, it's all good. Chris, what do you have for your number 1?
If you wanted to break up with your girlfriend, you this movie. Eternal Sunshine is Spotless mine.
Stephen.
Choice.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Now the question is, do I send it to a tie or does Matt have to flip a coin? My number 1 is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. So Children of Men is going to be 2.
It was a tough choice.
By the way,
Those are
on the
easy.
inside,
Not for me.
man, your girlfriend with this movie. I would just
Watch the movies; they're great.
I mean, he probably will eventually.
He's gonna watch Star Trek again.
Hey, don't presume things about me, sir. Probably.
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about my favorite movie from today.
Just to recap, our top 12. At number 12, we've got Idiocracy. At number 11, we've got Wall-E. At 10, we've got Way Too Low, Star Trek Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Oh my God! You...
at 9, we've got Minority Report. At 8, we've got Unbreakable. At 7, we've got Iron Man. At 6, we've got V for Vendetta. At 5, we've got Spider-Man
Way
2.
too low. Lisa made the top 5.
At 4, we've got The Prestige. At 3, we've got Star Trek 09. At 2, we've got Children of Men. And number 1, we've got Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And I know I spelt eternal wrong, so I'm not changing it. On that note, that brings us to the end of another Rankum. I'll have a poll up in a bit for what the topics for next week. But on that note, Chad, where can people find you online?
I've been kicking up a lot of reviews on Letterboxd. My Letterboxd right now currently is CWeb1534. I might be changing it if I start paying for the service. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of reviews on there. I've been doing a lot of Dan Murrell Movie Club. I'm a patron of his, so I've been watching a lot of movies. I do a lot of trivia. I'm doing some TMG trivia soon, and then I've been doing a lot of the King of the Mountain trivia over at Jack of All Trivia. And I did a Cornetto match. I did a Buffy match. If you know anything about me, I love Buffy. And then my wife did a. She's been starting doing trivia, and she's amazing. She did a Scream match. So a lot of those were fun. Check those out if you're interested.
Chris, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Facebook. You can the anime. I got a couple trailer come up. You want to see one today? I just did Full Metal Random Match. No, Random Class. I mean, what they call it, Malcolm?
Full Metal Classic.
Full Metal Classic today. Right, we're close, but yeah, like everybody just come watch. I got an entertainment match coming up pretty soon. Stay tuned. I'll be around, and anybody I complain about my pick, come at me. You know where to find me.
But Stephen, where can people find you online?
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Also, yesterday I put up my very first video on YouTube of my a reaction watch along, whatever you want to call it, of the movie True Showdown, the Kevin Smith and Chris Jericho match.
That was a good one.
Hopefully, yeah, it was awesome.
Matt, where can people find you online?
I did a lot better.
So,
no problem.
You can find me at Kearns_Matthew on Twitter, MattMovie611 on YouTube, and right here as host of Second Look. The show still exists. When a new episode's coming out, fuck if I know. But I'm always around here. Also, guys, follow Abe Flores at AbrahamF25 on Twitter. He asked me to plug him. You can also find me in Fan League matches. I've been in them, not of recent, but you can find me. I have competed in them. So go and find me. Me and Malcolm used to be on a team before I abandoned him accidentally. I'm sorry about that. It's all right. So I'm around here, and maybe happening tomorrow. We might be postponing until next week, but coming up soon, we are having a stream for the 4th anniversary of Take 3 Productions with the whole crew. Should be a lot of fun. Don't know what the hell we're doing exactly, but then again, we've been doing that for 4 years stream. We're still around here, so I guess it just fits. So yeah, keep posted to the Facebook page and to Twitter, and we'll be letting you guys know more details about when and where you can find all of that fun.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, that late night stream, if it doesn't end up being tomorrow, it'll probably be on Friday, which is the usual spot for Late Night Take 3, which it's kind of been all over the place of late, just because I didn't want to compete with the Schmodown. But as far as I know, there's no more long pay-per-view matches coming up in the next future, so we're going to be back on Fridays for but yeah, you can also find me hosting Rankum on Saturdays. The topic for next week will be whatever is voted on in the poll. And you can find me over at Full Metal, where I host Full Metal Classic, which is usually on Sundays, and Full Metal Random. This week is a rom-com match between Christina and Peggy. And that's going to be good. I've been delaying talking my plugs a little bit because to make this announcement, this has been officially the longest episode of Rankum. We surpassed TV feeds, which is 2 hours and 46 minutes. So by 2 minutes,
of course we did. First episode back.
But yeah, I'm going to end the broadcast before we break 3 hours because I want to save that record for other times. But hopefully there was but yeah. Until next time, keep listening shit.
What happened? Oh, good.